Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Geelong Zone. I'm sure it will be the Collingwood Zone in the next few minutes. This is the late night stream show. Starting a little bit earlier than the last two episodes. One, I don't really want to stay here for 4 hours. But depending on our guests tonight, you drive the show, and I will stay on as long as people are in the stream. We'll talk about mainly Collingwood. I've got a big game against the Crows. Geelong have a massive game against Melbourne. A game where I don't think we'll win. It's an uphill battle. If you do want to join the stream, link is in the description. Link is in the comments. Stefanos is in the chat. He says, hello, Lucas. Hello, Stefanos. Yes, so big games for our two teams. Geelong in Melbourne and Collingwood in the Crows at Adelaide Oval. I think my co-host, Mr. NBN, who's in bed right now, I think he might be going to that game. He loves his Adelaide Oval, as do I, during cricket season. I go to it as much as I can. But we will see. But yeah, no real hopes for against Melbourne. Tough game, undefeated at the MCG, and Collingwood have got Crows. Another tough game. Crows seem to be flying right now. They seem to be getting their mojo in order. Very hard to beat at Adelaide Oval, though. Collingwood did that in the finals. So it'll be a finals type game. How much have Crows improved in those games? How much is Collingwood? Are Collingwood the real deal? If they win that game, well, wowee. It sets up a blockbuster against Geelong the week after, doesn't it? Will you be wearing a Collingwood jumper, Lucas? No, I won't be wearing a Collingwood jumper. We're wearing my Geelong jumper. The special anniversary jumper might come out for that one. And Jezza has joined the show. Jezza, I'm not sure who this is. Put him on. Oh, it could be Jezzelenko. Is it Jezzelenko? No? Okay, he's gone. Wow, okay. Not sure who that was. Might have been Jezzelenko. I'm not sure who it was. That doesn't matter. It's all good. Nothing was said, which is probably the best thing. But yeah, so yeah, Collingwood big game against the Crow. Oh, sorry, I forgot to put Collingwood in that, but it's probably Matt actually trying to disguise himself as Jezza. But yeah, big game against the Crows at Adelaide Oval, so we can talk about that depending on numbers tonight. I'll have moved the show back, so I don't want to fall asleep like I did the last stream. But if no one joins, that's all right. I'll keep waffling on for the next 20 minutes, next 30 minutes. Don't have to have anybody on. I'll just waffle. Monday Fun Day show is on since it's not 12 o'clock yet in South Australia, but the flagship Monday night Monday Fun Day show with Kyri, Mr. NBN. We'll be doing that on Monday at 7 o'clock Melbourne time, 7 o'clock Adelaide time, 7:30 Melbourne time. That is our flagship show. We go for a couple of hours. If you're a Geelong fan, you're watching this, and you're keen to hear Kyri's thoughts on the game. He did a earlier review on the St Kilda game. Just just type in the Geelong Zone, and you'll see his review, the Sunday roast. He did a really good job there. But yes, plenty to talk about. As I said, you drive the show. Hey, Lucas, how mad are you at GWS beating the K? Yeah, that's fucking, yeah. Everyone plays their grand final against us, doesn't it? Every fucking team plays their grand final against us. What was Essendon? What was GWS's score? 4 goals. 7 goals, 15. Well, there must have been a hail. Did a breeze of wind go through the stadium at their end? Couldn't kick to save their lives, and yet they play their grand final against Geelong, and knock us out the top 4. So yeah, I don't know how Essendon did that. But then again, I did say when I did my tipping on the Wednesday show, I said, actually, Mr. MBN did that, but I only put in GWS by 40. And now there's no way that I predicted Essendon to win, but I thought it was going to be closer to what it was. Oh, yes, the package. Well, the package failed. He got sent to another postcode, the package. Every time he plays against us, he fucking finds the location. 0 goal 7. Yeah, he was absolutely shocking, Jake Stringer. No good. Absolutely no good. Terrible. In fact, they all were. Kingsley said it might be a mental thing because they've bet all the top teams. They've bet the top teams. Oh, it was Jazelenko. Sorry about that, mate. Yeah, sorry, mate. It was just me trying to figure out how to actually get on this for the first time. Never done YouTube before. Nah, it's all good, mate. It's all good. Like I said, with you, there is no pressure. Your voice will do. As I said, we've done a couple of these, and it's been voice only, which is fantastic. People don't want to show themselves; they don't have to. And I wouldn't blame them. They don't want to be shown with me. Early night tonight, but no, get on for a chance. So now that's fine, mate. If you want to use this show as a guinea pig to come on future shows, you're more than welcome to. With you, I know that I'll be selective with my questioning. I won't try to expose your voice too much. That's okay. We have shy people on here all the time, and we look after them the best we can. So all good, mate. All good. Right. So I'll give my little Collingwood versus Carlton review. Yeah, strange. It was a very strange game because, before I do, yeah, just show you, mate. It was all sweet. There you go. Just show you, mate. Yeah, it's all good, mate. Yeah, Collingwood versus Carlton, it was a very strange game. I'll be doing this on the Monday Funday show, so I'll be probably going to say here what I'm going to say on that show. It was an arm wrestle, wasn't it? It was very arm wrestlish, and I thought that favoured Carlton more because they fucking did that again. They did that against us, didn't they? They made it into an arm wrestle, and we just couldn't break away from that. Collingwood's class in the end. Membry had a good game. He kicked 3 goals. Oh, by the way, if Mick is watching, Mick, your vote, mate. I said Membry 3 goals and Collingwood win. There you go, mate. There's all Australian for you. All Australian Tim Membry. He didn't let me down, did he? See, I got smashed all week by the Collingwood supporters about putting Membry in the All Australian, and guess what happened? He kicked 3 goals. So there you go. Yeah, Membry was good. Dacos was fantastic again. Yeah, they had more breathing space. Every time Carlton made it close, Collingwood responded. They responded a couple of times in the second quarter. Carlton got their mojo going, their ball movement going. They did lose Harry Mackay, but that's not a big loss, to be fair. In fact, it actually helped Carlton's ball movement, to be fair, because they had other options to kick to. Yeah, Carlton got close a couple of times, but it was the class of Collingwood that responded to those goals. Lucas, what would hurt more, losing to Carlton or Collingwood? No, losing to Collingwood. I can get over the Carlton thing because finally we've won with Bet St Kilda, so the Carlton Geelong curse is broken. Because since that Carlton game, we didn't win anything. That's now broken. I can finally get over the loss now. I can finally accept that we just lose to them in general. And we have to accept that. But the Collingwood game, that would be an absolute disaster, especially if we lose to Melbourne. We have to win. To make top 4, we have to win 2 of those games, both of them. But to stay in the top 6 or top 8, we have to at least win 1 of those games. If we lose to Melbourne, which I think is highly likely, I think in my tipping show I'm going to pick Melbourne. I might pick Melbourne by a lot, to be fair. Who are yet to claim a big... Well, actually, they have claimed some scalps. They've claimed Hawthorn. So, yeah, Melbourne have claimed big scalps, but this is another big test for them, as it is a test for us. G'day, Lucas. Yeah, I'm glad Adrian. Are we allowed to say your first name? I'm glad Age came on. Age has started a new channel. I actually saw a couple of your first episodes. Just going bits and pieces. See how you're doing. You did your introductory video. Yeah, he says, of course. Well, we'll say Adrian. We'll say Adrian for legal purposes. But no, I saw your introduction video and then your play history, mate. Yeah, I think you're fucking mad to do that, man. I wouldn't do that in a million years, eh? But Jesus, yeah, I condemn your bravery, mate, doing that. There's a lot of players, a lot of days, and a lot of players. Better you than me, mate, which tells you that you're committed to this and you're doing better than me when it comes to this stuff. I can't imagine doing that with Geelong players. I think I'll leave that to the expert. But no, go follow Age. I actually subscribe to him. He's part of this community. So go subscribe to him. Go watch his videos. He just gives a brief history of players that played for Collingwood. He's done 2 already. So go see him. Mick says, Lucas, are you in the bathtub? I'm not, mate. Oh, Mick, I'm glad you're on, Mick. You vault, Mick. Tim Membry, 3 goals. Collingwood win. What happened? Membry, 3 goals. There's your vault. Tick. Bang. Got it. Lock it in. Take it to the bank. Hey, Chronicle. But, yeah, with Adrian, no. You keep going what you're doing, mate. I think it's a good thing that, yeah, you want to get people involved about players that might have only played 1 game or 2 games, back in the 1900s and that. So keep doing what you're doing, mate. You're doing good. You're doing good, mate. Don't give up. I remember when I first started this a year ago, not much has changed. But I remember Mick saying, I heard Mick on his review saying that he remembered when he did his first couple of streams, he was nervous as hell. And yeah, same with me, mate. I love history. There you go. So go give him a subscription, please. I've subscribed to him, so he's doing a good thing there, Age. Better you than me, mate, let me tell you. Matt says he will come on. Oh, Matt's going to come on. Fantastic. If Age, you want to come on, mate, you're more than welcome to come on, buddy. I know you like your coffee. Every time I've seen you in your streams, Adrian, you have a coffee with you. So grab a coffee, push the missus aside and say, no, I'm going to go on stream. and come on, have some fun. Drive the show. I think the link is in. We'll put the link in. There we go. We'll put the link in. If anyone wants to join, I think I've already put the link in, but there it is. Just a confirmation. But yeah, Collingwood. Yeah, they really responded to Carlton's goals, because Carlton did come at them, and then Collingwood responded. So just too much class in the end. I wish we fucking did that. That'd be nice. When we played Carlton. You can be my Adelaide supporter this week on my show. Jesus. Haven't been an Adelaide supporter since fucking 92, mate, since I was born. Before I converted. But if you want to come on, Mick, you can. Abe says, I can't, mate. I need to head to bed very soon. Waking up early, working in Halesville for the week. I got that completely wrong there. I butchered that name. No, it's all good, mate. It's all good, Adrian. Who wants to see? Who wants to be seen with me anyway? Look at the fucking state I'm in. Warble is here. Warble said he was going to come on. He was supposed to come on last week, but I'll join soon. I'm at work. Anthony's going to come on. There you go. I'm at work, maybe on my break. Yeah, World Cup tonight, Mick. World Cup tonight. Fuck, man, we might stay up for all that. Where's Peter and Wood when you need them? Trying to eat my dinner. I'm putting him off his dinner. Well, I'll go off camera, Matt. You can eat your dinner. You can go off camera. How you doing, Anthony?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Collingwood Zone. I'm joined by guest Lucas today. Lucas has the Geelong channel. Pleased to have him on tonight. So, Lucas, how are you going, mate? All good?
No, I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing well. What about you? Impressed with Collingwood? Technically last week, even though it was 2 days ago, but last week, were you impressed with their win?
Yeah, it was a very mature performance in the end, I think. It really went how I thought it would go, you know. Carlton probably beat us in the midfield, but on the outside, we probably flogged them, mate. It was, and what was nice was quarter 4, when we had to step up, we did. And we actually won clearance that quarter. So, look, I can't complain, you know. I can't complain. It was a very mature win. We're 8th. So if the year ended now, it'll be a Collingwood Geelong wildcard. So it's getting up there, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus, fuck yeah. I won't be doing a watch along for that game. Trust me on that. No one wants that. Yeah, because like I said, Carlton made it an arm wrestle, which they've done for the last 7 weeks. That's how they played under Josh Fraser, trying to make an arm wrestle, kick away in the 4th quarter. But they did come at you in that 2nd quarter, Anthony, and a little bit in the 3rd quarter. So they got within. I think they got in front. But you had too much class. You kicked away and you responded. So that was probably the most pleasing thing, Anthony, is the response that Collingwood made.
I'll give you like a game. I'll summarize the whole game. So I'll start with 1st quarter, I guess. So it was a very good start by Membry, who I think kicked out one of our first 3. We had McStay, looking at it right now. So McStay, the first 2, so he's having a very good patch of form. And it's pretty clear that McStay and Membry have largely benefited from our quick ball movement. So Membry's playing a more Elliott role now. So Membry's enjoying that quick ball. So he used to be more of a overhead marking player. But he's turned it into a prime, you know, like a prime small forward. It's crumbing goals and it's snapping goals. It's pretty good to see. So, it's opened up a lot. The end of the 1st quarter, Carlton fought back. Carlton did fight back pretty well, and it was probably an even quarter. I reckon they just got us again in clearances. In clearances, they got us. They got it on a bit of a roll. Cameron fought back, so Cameron's arguably smashed their ruck, so that was good to see him jump for once in a while. Long time coming. Second quarter was a bit of a. I didn't like our second quarter for the most part. I think Carlton were the dominant team for the first 3 quarters of it. But as Lucas said before, Stephanos, as Lucas said before, when we're challenged, we responded, and we did so. I think how many goals? So 3 goals second quarter, not bad. Third quarter was more of we did well when Carlton came back. It was more of an even spread, and the last quarter was all Collingwood. So yeah, overall, very good win. I don't know how good Carlton are though. Like I'm not. Carlton got a lot of their goals from. I know I shouldn't blame the umpires, but once we got 3 goals up, there was always a free kick there, and we couldn't break them. We just needed 1 more goal, and we would have broken them. But Cripps has a few good dives there, so Cripps can probably be at the Olympics. Yeah, the diving team for Cripps.
No, Adrian, I'm not 25 anymore, mate. There is no rig. I think Sean has a better body than me, mate. That's how well I'm going. Yeah, Geordie's fend off Cripper in the first was the highlight. Anthony, did you send in your predictions after the game? Seems a bit sus, mate.
No. No. If you have a look at the timestamp, Mick, it was 7:30 p.m. So 5 minutes before. Yep. Who did I even tip? Houston. I got Houston. West I missed. Harrison didn't get a goal. Cripps got more. Yeah, so I got like 2, I think. So it wasn't the best.
Well, I got mine right. I said Membry would kick 3 in the vault, and that vault gets locked. That doesn't come out. Take it to the bank. No, so when Carlton challenged, I noticed like when the ball went to ground inside your forward 50, you just smashed them. You kicked 3 quick goals. So that would have been really pleasing. Yeah, in the fourth quarter, you just completely smashed them. So that was probably your best win in for a while. Yeah, would you say the best win of the year, or?
Look, I wouldn't say the year. I feel like it's hard to say, but I feel like we weren't at our best tonight. Or sorry, not tonight. Last night. Yeah, I feel like we didn't play to our best, and it's probably a good thing. I feel like we have a few more gears to go into once we just really get cracking. So if we can beat the Crows, then I'll start lifting then. But at the moment, I'm still around like, oh yeah, we've beat a few below par opponents. So like, I mean, do you take much from this game? I'm not sure, but up your vault game next week. That's true. Come on, Lucas, you have to give us a few more.
Oh, the way you've been crushing Membry, the 3 goals must feel like 10. No, it's a big game, isn't it? It's a massive 2 weeks for Collingwood, isn't it? Crows and then Geelong. If you can beat the Crows, the narrative changed, doesn't it? It changes a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. We're still pretty high on the odds, so I think we're like one of the So people really are not convinced yet, and probably rightly so. If I was a Bomber supporter or a Carlton fan, I wouldn't be that convinced either, to be honest. I mean, we've beaten Richmond, West Coast, Carlton, Gold Coast as well, and North Melbourne. So, I mean, we need a few scalps. And I know we were close. We should have beaten Sydney, Fremantle. Melbourne was a close game. So we're almost there, but we're going to need a scalp for people to notice. Yeah.
Well, it doesn't get bigger than Adelaide because Adelaide, the last 7 weeks have been fantastic. They have beaten scalps. They beat Sydney and
Absolutely,
Sydney.
Yeah.
This would be a massive deal if Collingwood won this, and even if they don't, it tells you where Collingwood are. If they lose close, you say, oh well, we're not that far off. But if you get blown out, you say, well, we're miles off. If you win, you say, yeah, we're going to make definitely could make the top four. For the top four, this is actually a big game, Anthony, because the Crows are sitting in fourth. So this is like an 8-point turnaround. As Matt said, when they played Geelong, that's also an 8. So it could be a 16-point turnaround in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, some huge games, all of them are 8-point games. And probably none bigger than Geelong Collingwood. That's going to be a monumental clash. And I'm sure we'll have a lot of content. I'm sure Mick will have you on and he'll start throwing some roasts at you.
Yeah, he wants Mr. MBN on. He wants Kyri on. We'll work something out with Mick with Kyri. Mick, you might have to start early if Kyri wants to come on. 5-day break, yeah, but the Crows also they only had a 6-day break, and they had to go to Sydney. So I think that kind of levels itself out, to be fair. I wouldn't be so worried about the 5-day break. If Crows played on a Friday and then Collingwood played on a Sunday, then probably, yeah, you would be worried. But it's only 1 day difference, and Crows did have to go to Sydney, and it was a wet game, so it was heavy conditions. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that, Josh, to be fair. The Ruck, Dwayne Johnson. The Ruck is going to be a concern against the Crows. Yeah, they've got a good ruckman in who's been doing really well this year. So that's going to be tough, isn't it?
Yeah, so the Crows have, I think it's McAndrew is their jumper now. So, but Cameron's somehow jumping a bit. I don't know if it was just Carlton being shit, but I think Cameron, maybe he was carrying something or that Jeremy Howe spray sort of gave it to him. But against the Crows, I'm fairly confident with that one. I'll obviously have our preview streams, but I feel like we can match them in definitely in the middle, and our back line should clear their forward line. Apart from the only reason that will be in danger is if their tools go off the leash. Fogarty, Walker, Phil Thorpe, which could happen. We have a pretty inexperienced mix. Puncher hasn't played much. Jeremy Howe isn't really a key defender, and Frampton will take Walker or Fogarty. So yeah, it'll be a good matchup.
Well, Walker will come back. He got a rest. They rested him for the Sydney game. They took a risk. But, 3 forwards, I don't think that works. I don't think it works. You really exposed them in the finals when they played 3 forwards, didn't you? You did,
yes.
They really didn't do much in that finals game. I think Collingwood would have won every quarter, to be fair.
I think it was a pretty interesting game, that one, because I feel like once finals begins, the whole game shifts. So what you see now, what style of game you see now will not be what you see in finals. And that's where I think the experienced teams like Geelong and Collingwood will have an advantage there, as their game is more suited to that high pressure style. Whereas now it's more of a free flowing, low pressure, injury preservation game. So so I feel like there's a few teams in there, maybe the Bulldogs, maybe the Swans, who might struggle, because the Swans need that run and gun game. And when teams clamp it, and when it rains, the Swans can't score. So, it'll be a very good few weeks.
Good point here. No Fogarty. 3-week ban, remember? No Fogarty.
Oh, okay. That'll help. So no Fogarty. 2 tools. Yep. And probably a ruckman, they'll probably pinch it, but what do they say?
I think Crows are better with 2 tools. I think Crows are much better. They like the 3 tools. It didn't work in the finals. I think they're better with the 2 tools. So Tex Walker's on goal 699. They're going to pump him up for that game. So they're going to probably fucking try to pass him every single fucking time for that. the midfield ranking's been really good the last 5 weeks. He's had a bad year ranking, but his last 5 weeks have been pretty good actually. And he didn't play in that finals game against you guys.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
that's an added player that Crows have got from that final game. Chris says, "Hey Lucas, Void told me to tell you Ezin is coming for you, Lucas. I think Void needs to. I think Void needs to not get confused with ambition and talent. With that one, Stefano says, "Hey Chris, there we go. Hey Stefanos, but yeah, their midfield, their forwards, they're small forwards. They do all the damage though. Anthony, Rochelle, Rankin,
Absolutely.
Keys, yeah, Keys, yes.
Peatling, yeah. Well, Keys can't play against us, so I don't know if he'll. It's quite funny. Like he can't score against us, so hopefully that continues. Good old Ben Keys having a mare.
Oh, yes. The one that's really improved is Sam Berry. He's been really good for them this year. A bit of a surprise.
Love Berry. I gun that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to have Sam Berry in Geelong. He's just an inside mid ball. He tackles. He's gone from a B grader to an A grader, in my opinion. I think he's right up there. Sam Berry. He's had a very, very good year.
Sam Berry, I was saying we should have got him. I think in 24. I was onto him then. I was saying this guy's a good trade target, but yeah, he's doing a good job. I assume Ed Allen, our favorite Ed Allen, will go on. He might go on Dawson maybe and do a bit of a cool down roll on Dawson. But if Dawson gets off the chain, we'll probably have Allen. Perhaps I don't know if we'll put Long play ball on the weekend, man. So I'm always criticizing Long, but Long played all right. 2 goals, so he'll stay in the team. Yeah. Good stuff from Long. Do we make one change for the Crows? How will come in? Yeah, I'll rest one of Sadi or Pendle, so we'll rest one of them. And I don't see any more changes. We'll keep Puncher. We'll keep West. West can stay in. We'll keep Harrison will stay in. The only one I can see is Hayes. I still want to get Hayes in the team, but Hayes might have a VFL game first, so probably just one change for me.
Oh, Josh Dacos is injured. Okay.
So if Q's out, it could be a Howe swap in for Quaynor. So Howe for Quaynor. If Josh Dacos comes out, then we'll probably push Swaddling to the wing or more of that upper half-back role and then put someone back where Josh or allow Houston to play more of that role as well. Yeah.
See, that he's hard to tag Dawson because he's like the ultimate utility guy because he can go forward, he can even go back. He did a number on Mullins. You know, Mullins is a good target for us. And Dawson was one of the few guys that actually got away from Mullins because he went forward and he kicked a couple of goals. So he's very dangerous, Dawson, because he's got the ability to go forward. So you probably need to put a defender on him when he does that. Probably a Howe or someone that can jump really good because Dawson's strength is that he marks the ball at the highest point. So it makes it hard for a defender to spoil.
Yeah. Dawson's a star. Like you probably can't stop him completely. So you have to plan for him to get 25 or 30. So yeah, you have to just limit his impact in the end. Hopefully we can do that.
I think if he has 25 disposals but he doesn't get a goal, I think that's a win for Collingwood. I think they'll probably take that. If you can limit his scoring options, that'd be probably the next best thing if you can't take him out of it. But how confident are you with this game? Are you semi-confident? Are you Crows will win, but see how we go? What are you expecting?
I'm pretty confident, to be honest. I mean, if I was like putting a margin, I'll say probably 60 Crows, 40 Collingwood, I'm feeling. So I still feel like we're the underdog for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like we play them well, and having them beat us before, having them win sort of eases that pressure off them. So they've already beaten us. Hopefully we now have that, we're sort of inspired to beat them this time. So yeah, it'll be a big win. So if we win, we'll go to 46 points. So they'll close it to a 2-point gap to Adelaide.
Yeah.
And so there's currently a 4-point gap between 7th and 6th. So there's a little divide between the top 6. But it'll probably being like looking at it honestly, I struggle to see how we'll make top 6. I think we'll finish maybe top half of wild card at the moment. So 7th or 8th.
Okay.
It will need a lot to go right to finish top 6. And perhaps maybe the Bulldogs might be with us. I don't see the Giants or Carlton making it. So that could be the top 10 set already, Just change the order around.
Yeah, and Gold Coast, they've fallen off the cliff, haven't they? So yeah, Footscray might be that last team coming from nowhere. But if you win in your next 2 games, then you're geez, the sky's the limit, eh?
Mate. Ooh. We have another Collingwood Zone guest.
Hello, Chris.
Hey, Lucas. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. And hey, Anthony.
Hey, Chris.
Welcome to the Collingwood Zone. And Lucas with no top. And Lucas with no top on.
No top on. That's it. Exactly right. 2 a.m. 12 a.m. Too hot. Got the heater on.
He was sleeping, mate. He was sleeping for an hour.
Mate, when I did this last time, mate, I think Void and Paul, they fucking took over for 2 hours. I fell asleep, mate. Yeah, that was a bit funny because they were playing the Collingwood song and I was asleep and I listened to the last half hour. Yeah, Collingwood song, my trip to Melbourne on the train. Very entertaining indeed. Top 9 looks settled for me. It's between Saints and GWS to make the top 10.
Good call. I would agree.
Did you?
Go, Chris.
Did any of you watch GWS versus Essendon tonight?
Oh yeah, what a fucking.
I didn't, but yeah, like Giants Essendon, mate. Absolute shit show, that one.
Did they half open the roof every time GWS played at one end or something? Goodness me, they couldn't kick to save their lives. Stringer 0-8. My God.
Oh my God! Like what? 0-8.
Yeah, I watched the whole game. 0-8. He was fucking shit. Worst move. Essendon made the fucking best move getting rid of that dumb cunt. He was fucking shit as fuck. Oh yeah, he couldn't. I was watching the whole game. He couldn't. I think he had the biggest yips ever playing in front of all the Essendon supporters. They all fucking hated him. Yeah, booed the living crap out of him. I think they're all fucking glad he's fucking gone.
Yeah, that's not a typo. He really did that. If you look at the AFR up, that is not a typo.
Goodness me! Wow.
So yeah, well, every time he plays against Geelong, he has a Brownlow game. When he plays against us, they were awful. I think Adam Kingsley said that they have mental issues at the club. Maybe they should. There's a camp called Collective Minds. Maybe they should try that. It didn't work out for Adelaide, but maybe it'll work out for the Giants or something. So I don't know. I can't help him. But Chris, what did you think of the game, Chris? Of the Carlton and Collingwood game?
I thought it was fucking awesome to see Carlton fucking choke against us. It was fucking awesome. Yes, I was fucking happy. Nick Dacos, you fucking idiots not tagging Nick Dacos, you fucking dickheads. Oh yeah, let Nick Dacos do whatever the fuck you want. Do you know Nick Dacos is our fucking best player? Yeah, just let him do whatever he want, you fucking idiots. Oh yeah, you want to talk about Cripps? He's fucking shit. I'm glad he's playing for Carlton. He's playing one of the worst fucking teams in the fucking world. Oh, I'm great. And then Mackay getting fucking injured. Yeah, he's one of the worst. Carlton, how good was he keeping him over Charlie Kerner? You fucking idiots.
I'm glad this is the midnight stream. I said to Anthony, Chris, Collingwood challenged them, but every time they did, the response from Collingwood was pretty good.
Yeah, it's because of one man, Nick Dacos. How good was he? He set up nearly every goal because Carl didn't want to fucking tag him. It wasn't their tag supposed to be George Hewitt. Oh yeah, they didn't play him on him. What was the reason playing Hewitt? I thought that was supposed to be their fucking tagger.
Yeah.
But no, you didn't want to tag him.
Yeah, and my man, my All-Australian, Tim Membry had a good game also, Chris.
Yes, but he wasn't as good as my man, Charlie West. I don't give a fuck about Membry. I give a fuck about Charlie West. He is the fucking future of Collingwood. Haven't you heard what I said to Mick? I put it in the vault. Charlie West will become one of the best full forwards in the competition. I believe in this man. Did you see him on the weekend? I think he was fucking brilliant.
Good, yeah, he was good. He was good. A bit like Jay Polkinghorne, wasn't he, against the Saints?
Yes.
Really happy with that one. Yeah, love Polkinghorne. About time. What else caught your eye, Chris? What else caught your eye? Anything else that that wasn't mentioned on Mick's review that you want to bring up?
Well, you've got to say our defense was really good. Like Carlton, their forward line could not stop our defense. When you've got like Bruzzy, you've got how good was he? How good was Pez? How good was Q? Like, yes, we were missing Jeremy Howe, but we've got his replacement, Puncher. Yeah. Puncher was like, he's the future of our defense going forward. I think he needs to stay in all year. He's the future.
What did you think of his game, Anthony? Puncher's game?
Oh, he's probably taken that Murphy role. So we had Murphy in 2023. He was that probably our second key, and that allowed Moore to roam free and intercept the ball. So I reckon Puncher's now a lock for our best team. So he won't come out probably for the whole season now. He hasn't get a lot of the ball, but he isn't outmarked. So I think he had four contested marks last night. Looks very strong, so he's already built pretty well. And he'll only get better. So give him the second or third key tool, and they'll just help us bring up Jeremy Howe. Jeremy Howe's gonna be our main guy. If we can get Howe off the chain a bit, get him loose up the ground, then they'll cause damage. Yeah, so we've got to keep Howe a bit loose, and Houston Puncher also compensates for Houston's shit overhead skills. So Houston can't defend. So so Puncher sort of helps with that. So he can have more of that role, and Houston, who played all right on the weekend, Houston can do more of what he does best and do kick-ins and and there's bullet passes.
Now I know Matt's going to hate this, but even Beau McCreary had a good game. Statistically, had a good game. Kicked 2 goals. Kicked that long ball. What did you thought about his game?
Chris? I thought Beau was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant on the weekend. We finally saw Beau back to his best. And the other one I'm going to give credit to, and I never thought I'd say this, was Lipinski. He was actually good for he was actually good for once. Look, I will say this. I always say this to people. If people play good, I will give them credit. The last month, he has been playing good for us. But the thing is, I hope he keeps it up. Mick brings up an excellent point. You were there, Anthony. That moment against Melbourne when he didn't go for the contest. And that's what worries me always about Lipinski. Is he going to be that Lipinski who doesn't show up? If he's like the Lipinski that was on Saturday night that shows up, I won't become a fan, but I will be happy he's playing for us.
Yeah, the Warbuller Chris. He says, I don't hate it, love it. Credit where it's due. Yeah. Wow.
See, I told you, we give credit if they play good.
Yeah, he's formed a pretty pivotal part in our ball movement. So often all our chains will somehow end up with him. I've noticed either him or Nick will get on the end of it. So we trust those two to be our inside 50 distributors. I don't know if he has gotten harder at the ball. I feel like he has just gotten more of the ball on the outside. So I don't know if he's become tougher, but he definitely has gotten more of the ball. And that probably extends from our quick ball movement, you know? So once we move the ball, he really benefits from it, probably more than any other player on the team.
What do you think about Houston's game?
Just looking at Matt's comment, his first half was crap, apart from that long goal. Second half, very good.
I'm with Matt. I'm not a fan of him. Like, the thing is, yes, he did that long goal, but the thing is, he makes a lot of mistakes. And I want him to be you saw him when he played for Port Adelaide, Lucas. I want him to be that Dan Houston. I don't think since he's come to Collingwood, he's been that Dan Houston since he's come to Collingwood. That's what Matt talks about. He wants him to be that Dan Houston that he was at Port Adelaide. What's the difference between him and what's the difference between him and Port Adelaide is the Houston we got now, Lucas?
I think he's too deep. I don't think he pushes up the
100%, Lucas. 100%, man. Yeah.
Because with Port Adelaide, he pushed up the ground. So what made him so dangerous at Port Adelaide is when he was getting the ball from a handball link, or handball chain, probably around about 70 to 60 out from Port's goal, and then he'd bomb it in long. That's where he was the most dangerous. And I don't see that enough of that from Houston at Collingwood. I see he's far too deep, and he's kicking in. So he's never really done that at Port Adelaide. He's a guy that just that pushes up deep and gets it in the forward line. He doesn't do that for Collingwood. I could be wrong.
No, that's true, Lucas. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
The only hope I have is that come September, Fly might have a few surprises. Look, I know that shouldn't be the case. We should be doing it now, but I feel like by September, our old players are going to lift. I reckon Sobottom, Howe, Pendlebury will all know it's probably their last chance to win a flag, so they'll probably just go all in. Who cares? If I'm sore, I'm injured, I don't give a shit. I'm going to go all in for the team this final series. So we'll probably gain from the old players. And I don't know what Fly's plans are, but Houston, we are just wasting him, and his efforts are a bit shithouse in the back line. So either just put him up the ground when his kicks can actually go into our forward line, or just just try and he's just shit defending, man, you know.
Do you agree with that, Matt, what I said about him pushing up deep?
Yeah, sorry, I don't know why. I thought you were talking about McCreary having a good game.
No, I think I knew you were talking about McCreary, but yeah, Chris wanted to talk about him.
You don't talk about Houston in front of Matt.
Switch to Houston.
Yeah. We don't talk about Houston in front of Matt.
Yeah, Houston, that was the worst 25 possession game I've ever seen from Houston.
See? Didn't I tell you, Lucas?
Yeah.
Yeah. See what you see. So here's the thing. This is how, Josh will come back with some stats in a sec and how he had 75% disposal efficiency. The problem with champion data and just stats in general. Bill Gates wrote a famous book. It's called How to Lie with Statistics. So in footy, you can make someone look very good with statistics. And Houston, his main effective disposals are when he kicks it long down the line. I think it's something like if a kick goes more than 40 meters to a contest, that's an effective disposal. That's fucking crap. He does that a lot. The other thing he does when he's in the back line or half back, he kicks sideways a lot. Really easy get out kick. And when he kicks out from a behind, he only ever does very simple kicks. You see the contrast. Jeremy Howe, especially last week, his kicking from kickouts slices the opposition up. Right? Not only from kickouts, when he gets it, he goes, I see someone in the corridor and I'm gonna bite that off. And it doesn't always come off, but 90% of the time it comes off. When Houston tries for one of those, 80% of the time it doesn't come off. He kicks it straight to the opposition. He's actually a shit. He is it. I don't know what he was like at Port Adelaide. I'm assuming he was great. But since he's been at Collingwood, when he goes for a long kick or a risky kick through the middle, he's terrible. And his kicking for goal shows you. He's 3 goals 10 from kicks at goals. Now, he's not kicking from 20 meters out. Usually it's a set shot at goal or he gets the handball off. But for someone who's supposed to be a beautiful kick, from 50 meters on the run, you should be minimum 50%. He's at 23% from those shots at goal. He wasn't like that at Port Adelaide. Why is he so crap at kicking? He's the worst kick in the side. We're not talking about kicking long to a contest or these sideways kicks that go 15 meters. That doesn't count. When he is called to take a risky kick, he's about 1 in 4. And when it comes off, Houston, so good. But the amount of times he either goes for it and it gets turned over. The other thing he does, he just puts it on the boot. Hack kicks out of defense. Yeah. Awful. We've got Ned Long and Steele side bottom to that. That's their specialty. You've got Ned Long and Steele side bottom and Josh Dacos. They're the guys. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to just hack the ball 40 meters out of bounds on the full or straight to the opposition. That's what they're there to do. We don't need Houston doing that as well. We've already got 3 guys already doing that. 4 guys who just hoof it on the boot. That's one of the main differences between when we were good in 2022, 2023. We had poise, we had composure. If we didn't see anyone obvious, we would backpedal, we would stop, and then maybe go sideways, because it's better to go sideways when you look down the field and there's a wall of the opposition supporters, or just a contest on the wing when it's in the dying moments of the game and you really need to hold possession. So that's the issue for me with Houston. See, a defender, maybe you get away with one fuck up a game. Like the reason we got rid of Noble, because we were worried if we played him in a final, one of his fuck up, and he does 1 or 2 of them a game, would cost us a final. And Fly knew that we're always only just winning by a kick. Noble plays in a final, we're probably losing one of those finals with one of his fuck ups in defense, where he just makes the wrong decision. He just puts it on the boot, straight to the opposition, turnover, goal, lose a final. The problem with Houston, he makes 3 or 4 fuck-ups. And people go, he had 26 possessions at 75%. But those 3, 4, 5 fuck-ups, they can cost you a game. And I'm sure they have cost us games. That's the problem with as a backman, you can't afford to be fucking up like that. Sidey, he had 3 or 4 of those fuck-ups. In the first half, he was terrible. He kept getting it and just booting it out of bounds. You can't have that playing in it. If Sidey plays in the forward line, or if Houston was multifaceted to be able to play in the forward line, you can hide that. Make a fuck up in the forward pocket. We don't get a goal. Rolls out of bounds. No problem. But when you fuck up like that in the back line, it can cost you games. That's the problem. That's the problem with Houston.
Yeah, and he can't play forward. He hasn't got the tools.
I don't care about Josh. Any fucking stuff you give to me from Champion Data, it just is meaningless. It's meaningless. He's not dangerous. He is not dangerous. When Houston gets the ball, the opposition goes, we're a fucking 80% chance to get this back now.
Oh, you've done it
Right?
now, Matt.
Now,
He's came on, Josh.
50% of the times when he kicks it, like the perfect example, we had a minute to go against the Suns, right? He had Frampton and I think Howe, two people 30 meters behind him calling for the ball. He kicks it to one of those guys. That's another 30 seconds off the game. We win that game, no problem. But he went, no, I want people to see how beautiful my long kicking is. I'm going to go down the line, and it's just so beautiful. Turnover. If it wasn't for that North Melbourne bloke dropping the mark, they got a quick kick forward, he would have cost us the game. No one's talking about it, but that decision to go long down the line was just a stupid decision. Poor. Nearly cost us the game. He should have swallowed his ego and go, no, I am going to go back and I'm going to eat up the clock and I'm going to kick it to Howe. That's what you do when you got to admit. Hey, did you see Essendon today? Perfect example of what you do. What's his name?
Stringer.
The forward who took a mark, but he didn't kick it goal. He kicked it sideways.
Oh, Langford.
That is how you do it. Minute on the clock, goes back like he's could have iced the game. If that was Houston, he would have gone for a shot. It would have been a point. I'm guaranteeing you Houston would have gone for the glory. What did Langford do? He pretended like he's going to have a shot for goal. He ate up his 30 seconds. He knew he had an outlet, and he went for the outlet kick, and it won them the game. That's what Collingwood used to do 3 years ago. We don't do that anymore. We start on it, and there'll always be one idiot who goes, oh, no, I'm going to try and kick a goal when we just need to keep possession. So Langford today for Essendon, that's the perfect example of what you do. You will sacrifice a shot at goal at your own glory to keep possession, because he kicks a point. If Langford kicks a point there, what happens? What has he just done with 40 seconds left? What did he just do?
He passed it backwards and wasted more time.
No. Listen to my question. If Langford went for a shot at goal and kicks a point, what has just happened with 40 seconds left to go?
Yeah,
I know what happens.
They get the ball back.
He gave the ball to the
GWS
Giants.
goes forward.
He gave the ball back to the Giants. Giants go through. The Giants probably 50% chance to win the game because Essendon are spastics, and Giants have probably got the skill to go through the middle and win that game. So Langford, very smart decision there to just go. There's a minute left. Can we keep possession of the ball? Now, if GWS had manned up on everyone, he goes back and takes a shot. Houston, in that situation, didn't even think to look behind him. He's a dumb footballer.
Yep. Anna, quickly.
He's got 6 weeks to turn it around. Houston needs to get that shit out of his game. 1 or 2 mistakes in the back line, okay. Long made that mistake, 50 meters. But 3 or 4, 5 turnovers and big mistakes. In finals, that's all there is. Game over.
Yeah.
He needs to improve on that. He gets a 25 possession game, kicks a goal, but there's very little amount of mistakes, then we won't even worry about. We'll be like, good on you. You're doing your job. Needs to get that out of his game.
Yeah, Anna, don't tell the other Geelong fans that, Anna, because I'll just boo you and disagree with you, but I agree with you on that. But don't talk to other Geelong fans about that. Also agree with Selwood would have won 4 flags. Would have won 8 flags with a proper coach here. But on Houston, on Matt, I just think he with Port Adelaide, he was never a defender. He was playing in that position, but he wasn't in defensive contests like he is at Collingwood. I think that's down to coaching as well.
They covered for him. That's because they covered for him. Yep. Like the only premiership I won in senior football, I was named on the forward pocket, and I was allowed to go anywhere on the ground I wanted to. This is in not a super high standard. This is in Melbourne amateurs. Okay, so I basically set myself around the half back line. I didn't have a man. from time to time, someone would, like in the grand final, I was tagged. I had a shit of a day. So I was playing as a loose man in defence and I got tagged. So from time to time, someone would man me up. But in ammo footy, they're like, oh, loose man in defence. They decide we'll have a loose man in defence as well. That's kind of the way Houston played for Port Adelaide. They'd have a winger drop back or someone and cover him. So Hinckley's saying to Houston, just do what you want. You go where you want, predominantly set yourself at halfback, and you'll be on your own a lot, and you don't really have to defend. We're going to cover for you. So what they did is they sent cover back. Either a wingman drops back, an on ball or whatever, and they just set him on his way. That's not what we do at Collingwood. You have to be a defender first. So when people say, oh, it's Fly not setting up to succeed, there's a bit of truth in that. What Fly is saying, hey, you're with us now. We've got this system. You're a defender first. Once we have the ball, then you go. Houston, it's taken him 2 years. He can't adapt to that. And so I think that's in his head. And I think he's second guessing himself. And that may be why the reason he's doing dump kicks and he's not confident with his kicking, because he clearly wasn't like that at Port Adelaide. So a lot of this does go back to Fly. It's accountability from the coaching staff and their system and Houston. It's not all on Houston. It's not all on the coaching staff. But come on, it's been nearly 2 years. They've got to fucking sit down and work this shit out. Because at this stage, I'd rather have a guy like Ryan, who's not a flashy player, but the first thing he's going to do is make sure his opponent doesn't do much damage. And his kicking at its best is not like Houston, but he's not doing those sort of fuck ups that can turn a game. So it's nearly 2 years. Sort it out.
Yeah. Do you watch much of Noble while he's been at Gold Coast? Do you see anything different?
Yeah. He's a bit better, but he does gain more meters than Houston, but he still just boots it to contests. He doesn't slice you open. Rioli is the type of player that I'd like at Collingwood. He's the other halfbacker who they got. He's more of a smart, high IQ footballer. Johnny Noble, low IQ footballer. He's good. He gets the run going, but has a couple of bounces. But then he just gives it to the opposition, not always through direct turnovers, but just booting it, just bombing it to a contest. Doesn't really hurt you. Where Rioli, he can hurt you.
Yes, yeah. They have another halfbacker. I forgot his name. That helps out Noble a bit. Jeffries. He does all right as well. Jeffries. When they played against us in Geelong, Noble had a field day. He had about 32 touches, but he did turn over the ball. Trying to execute the corridor kicks. So no, I agree with you there, but I think with Houston, you need to free him up, and that's not all on the coach. That's not all on Houston. I think it is 50-50, but as you mentioned, Matt, he's better when he hasn't got a direct opponent, when he's not defending, when he's pushing up and kicking the ball long. So I don't think he does that enough at Collingwood for me.
Here's what they can do. They can do this from Thursday against the Crows. What they do is what I was talking about before. Is when I did this for a year, is that people talk about put Houston on as a half forward, and these are people who are defending Houston. Oh no, Houston. Da, da, da. So then on the next sentence they're saying move him to a different. We're trying to hide it. He's no good halfback, so put him somewhere else. I'm suggesting what they do, and the club, if the club's listening, hopefully they try this. Name him half forward flank, but say to him, we want you to do what you did at Port Adelaide. We're going to name you on the half forward line, but you have got a license to go anywhere between the half back line and the half forward line. Yeah. So you're going to start half forward, then you're going to drift back. You only have to pick up your man, who is the half back flanker for the other team, if he starts to, you know what I mean? Like start it,
I do.
name him on the half forward line or the forward line in general, but let him float back essentially like a spare man in defence. So he doesn't have to defend.
Yeah, and then you can get the
Because
handball
that's
chain.
essentially that's what he was doing at Port. That's what he was doing at
Yeah.
Port Adelaide, right? He can't
Yeah,
defend,
correct.
so don't make him defend.
Can't defend. Nah. He's never been that. Nah.
And
So yeah.
then by default, his kicking will improve. He'll get more confidence. He'll start kicking goals. He's got he's got the weight of he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. You can't tell me he doesn't. Getting paid close to $1 million a year, being utter disaster as a trade. Fans like us giving it to him unfairly, really, because it's not all on him. But that's he's a public figure. He's a public figure making $1 million. We gave up a lot for him, so he has to cop it as a public figure. He has to sort of wear that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I'll
Nearly
let
2
Josh
years of
respond.
this.
Yeah, Josh just came in the chat. Before I do, I'll just read what Anna said. Cats fans think that because we don't miss finals, that's satisfactory. We accept mediocrity too easily. Scott let Dockers beat us in final at KP. Yeah, that final was fucking bullshit, Anna. Absolute bullshit. Now we got Josh came in. So Josh, would you like to respond to Matt's comments there because you weren't happy in the chat? Here's your chance, Josh. You're on mute, Josh, if you want to speak.
I agree with Matt a bit about Houston, but for the game against
Josh.
Carlton, he was.
Hey, Josh.
I thought he was really good. He had 7 score involvements. He wasn't turning it over. I think he had 3 turnovers for the game. I agree about Sidebon. He was just horrible. He was. Look, the game's gone past him. No score involvements out of the halfback. He kicked a goal with Houston.
The thing is, I haven't done I always watch the replay, and the last month I've been on Houston Watch, and you will have those turnovers, but what you don't see, and Josh Dacos has been a culprit a lot of the times, and Sidebottom and others, is the amount of times where Houston sees it's nearly always DeGoey. DeGoey just pops into the corridor. Not a risky kick. It's like a 30-meter kick. He's 20 meters in the clear. And not just him. Sometimes it's Nick. Nick got burned a couple of times last night. And these guys, Houston does it a lot. They ignore them. And it's not even a risky kick for Houston. Pop that over to DeGoey or to Nick. But what he does, and then he'll kick it down the line to a contest. Now that is scored as an effective possession. So I look at that, and for me, that's almost as bad as a turnover when you burn someone who's in a hot position. McCreary did it. I don't know if you guys noticed at one stage in the first half, McCreary had it, and Nick was to his left, streaming inside 50. Bo gives that. It would have been like a 15-minute handball. Bo gives that, and Nick is in on goal. He would have had a shot from 40 meters out. 80%.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Yeah, so it's that sort of stuff. So when you go back and watch the replay, yeah, you'll see the turnovers. There'll be a missed kick or whatever. It's also those non-decisions he makes. We've got him to just make those kicks.
I felt
and that's what.
I felt like he took the kick-ins. He hit the goalie and Nick Dacos and got the 1-2 out of the halfback and really set up the play. He had 7 score involvements, which is elite for a halfbacker.
Score involvements are, what are you doing in the score involvement? For example, the date that play where Nick was kicking in, kicked it to Dan, and he took a mark and handballed it back to him.
Yeah.
That's a score involvement. How many of the score involvements were that? How many? Do you know what I mean? Are they brilliant score involvements, or are they just okay? Well, that's just give it back to Nick. So I'm going to watch the game back again. Maybe we could do a replay watch along, and I might come back and say I might be wrong on second watch. Yeah, he was really good. I agree with you.
To me, when Jeremy Howe's out, I feel like Houston plays like a lot better. If you watch like the first few games of this year when Jeremy Howe was out, Houston was back. We thought, oh, he's back. He's a good All Australian again. But as soon as Jeremy Howe came back in, Houston's game like went backwards a bit.
Yeah, it should lift him, because the one thing that when we missed when Jeremy Howe goes out is he just gets the ball when he's kicking in, and he just sets us on our way. Just hits that one down the middle. It's very rare that Dan from a kick out hits that risky kick from kick outs.
He
Would
was
you
doing
agree?
like 20, 30 meter short passes to like a Nick and then get a handball receive and kick it, I noticed, against Carlton.
Yeah, from kick outs.
Yeah.
Well, he kicked it and got the 1-2.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, like I'll add on a bit to Josh and Matt. Yeah, look, I feel like we're trying to compare him to that Port Adelaide version, and that's like right, like we traded our picks for an All Australian 2-time player, and I feel like he isn't doing bad. Like I'm sort of halfway between you guys. Like he isn't doing bad at all, but that Port Adelaide guy, like we just haven't seen it. Houston can do so much more than just doing the kick-ins. Like he can go on the wing and do bullet passes to Nick in the forward line. Like he's shown that over and over. And to me that could also be work rate. Like I know coaching is important, but do you think Houston is actually working hard enough to actually get
he
He
doesn't.
definitely doesn't work hard enough.
He doesn't. Now, I'll give you an example of how he doesn't work. He doesn't have second efforts. So that brilliant play when Nick, now it's either, we don't know, it's either laziness, football IQ, or fitness. It's one of those or a combination. Now, that brilliant piece of play, Nick Dacos kicks out to Houston. He sprints, gets the 1-2. Nick sprints again. Houston is jogging. So by the time Nick gets the second 1-2, Houston is 40 meters behind on the on the edge of the square half back line. With no thoughts of trying to get involved again. So now maybe he thinks, oh, that's Nick. He's got it under control. But the amount of times, guys, go and watch the replay over the next few days. And you watch the amount of times when we're really good from transition from the back line and we just go. Because when I was doing a watch back to see what Dan was doing, what I noticed is when we have a turnover in the back line and we just go, the whole back line just sprints. Josh Dacos and Dan Houston were standing next to each other. Josh sprinted off trying to get involved, and Dan just, it was literally not much more than a walk. Just no thoughts of getting involved. So that's who knows whether that's fitness or just doesn't think that he can get it, or he's lazy. One of those, or a combination.
I'd say, but there would have to be always one defender what stays back and not sprints up. Otherwise, you're going to get like teams getting.
It's not an issue. It's not like he's leaving his man, because their opponents are up the ground in front of them. So it's not being irresponsible to start running in that position, because the back line, so the forward line are now chasing. So Josh and Dan's opponents are running up the ground trying to defend, trying to be defensive forwards. So there's no point them standing there. They need to go. Not only should they try and get involved, they need to chase their opponents, because if their men get on the end of it, it can turn around and a goal could go over their head. So it's not like they say, "Oh, I better stay here to man up, keep an eye on my man." Their men have already gone trying to defend the forward half.
Yeah, and I do agree, but I'm just wondering if I think Houston clearly doesn't demand the footy. He isn't that character who says, give it to me, I'm gonna win us the game. And I don't know, like I've heard he's very shy, like he isn't like that isn't an excuse, but
Nah, it's
I
not
want
character.
to see
He's just not
yeah.
getting to that spot. When they give it to Bruzzy, it's because they're in the right spot. Yeah, if you're yelling and you're demonstrative, that's going to help a little bit. But the reason Josh gets it more than Houston is he's just in the right spot. They're like, oh, he's like forward of me 15 meters. I'm going to give it to him. Dan is not running to get to that spot. Like, here's an example. His 3 or 4 touches that Dan Houston can get every game that is so fucking easy, it's not ridiculous. And it would really help the team out.
Yeah.
How often does DC take a mark in defense? And what are we thinking when he takes that mark? Don't fucking kick it. Why is
that
Dan
kick before
Houston
half time, DC?
Handball to Houston.
Yeah, that's he's a ruckman. He shouldn't be kicking it. Dan Houston should be running around and getting the easiest handball. Doesn't have to be Dan. No one's doing it. Where is Josh? Where is Pez? Why aren't they getting the handball off him and taking that responsibility off DC, who just doesn't want to kick it? And we saw the result of it. It's happened a couple of times in the last few weeks. There's an easy handball.
Daz, how are you, mate?
Good morning, everyone.
Daz,
How are you?
Hey, Daz.
You're doing
Good
good, mate.
morning. Yeah, I just only jumped on. Didn't listen to anything earlier, so I don't know how long you've been going for. But obviously the topic at the moment is Dan Houston. Is that what we're talking about right now?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he was better last night. Not ultimately brilliant, but better. Getting more involved. But yeah, clearly there's got to be even better and more improvement. And I just, as we were talking about it, watching the game, just want to see him step up in those bigger games coming up. So, he should actually, with the amount of AFL experience now, and he's been at the club close to 2 years. So just want to see him take on more of a ownership in defence. And what I saw with Bruzzy last night with Jeremy Howe out was, again, we see Bruzzy doing this every single week, basically, tackling hard, pressuring hard, lifting the defence, taking the ownership from clearances out of defence, handballing to a teammate, kicking to a teammate, and he's under pressure a lot of the time. I just want to see Dan. I'm not saying he has to put himself under pressure, but when there are times when games like that, and there's going to be games coming up where you've got no other option, you're going to be under the pump. Got to make good choices, but you also got to lead from the front as well. Why do you have to be a vice captain or a captain to actually do that? So I think all players need to do that. So I give him a tick on his effort last night. It was better, but still needs to be improved. But I thought the guy that really, without Jeremy Howe, Bruzzy just was unbelievable back there. I don't know what you guys thought that were either watching on the TV or streaming it, or anyone that was at the game, but he was to me a leadership force for us, because don't you worry about that. Carlton had enough penetration out of the middle to really snooker us in a lot of those forward thrusts and inside 50s, but it was Bruzzy and he was directing traffic, and it wasn't like we've been seeing. It's been sort of like Pendles and so forth directing traffic. What I saw last night was another string to Bruzzy's bow, and I think he's done it so many times anyway. We've just noticed Pendle's doing it over the years, in the last 12 months, directing traffic from, his, I suppose, playing performances out there. It doesn't necessarily have to star, but what Bruzzy does is directing traffic, and he's doing a great job. What I really appreciated and respect him for is you've got two young guys now in that team. One is Liam Puncher. He's only played a few games, and you could just tell Puncher's just, taking a great look of, I suppose, education out of seeing Bruzzy the way he's just playing as a defender. And I think it's given him tremendous confidence and so forth. So I think, to me, I mean, I don't know. I mean, badge, as far as I'm concerned, with Bruzzy's game last night, probably won't get in the best players. But for me, he was a star last night, absolute star. And I know the opposition supporters and the media and all of that crap on him, think that he, goes over the line and all this sort of stuff. But wouldn't you like to have that guy playing for you every single week? Don't tell me that the North Melbournes, the Carltons, and all these other teams would love to have a guy like that playing for them in their team, because the guy just doesn't shirk an issue. He plays with a busted shoulder. And we're not going to see Houston do that type of thing. He's a different type of player. But, I think, with my view of the defence, it was very good last night. And I think most of the defence did a great job. But that guy, Bruzzy, we are going to be absolutely decimated in defence if we see Howe and Bruzzy out of the same team, because there's just absolutely no control from. I mean, Frampton's had a great year, but when you have a direction from a guy like that, and he just takes. It's like Nick. When Nick did it in the Carlton game early in the year, he puts everyone on his shoulders, and he carries the team. He carries even the guys that aren't performing over the line and try to get a win. Bruzzy does it as a defender and as a leader in defence as well. And what you see with Bruzzy, also he's not afraid of going forward to set play up in the forward line as well. He takes ownership of that, and he knows that if he has to double back and go back in defence because there's a turnover, he's still running hard back there as well. He's not the quickest bloke in the world, but he will do those sorts of things. He's a risk taker, and I love it. And I love his leadership. I just love that guy. I love him. Love him. And I think we've got the best two potential leaders going forward for next year. Nick as captain, Bruzzy as vice captain. You can't do much better than that. And that is a massive improvement on what we've been dealt with over the last 2 years. No disrespect to Darcy, but when you change that up and you get Nick and you get Bruzzy doing, I know captain and vice captain, it's only a name, it's only sort of words, but when they're official, I think you got to absolutely give it to those sorts of people. Those people deserve those sorts of roles. No disrespect to Darcy, but Bruzzy deserves it and Nick deserves it, and I'm so looking forward to next year, because I think if you look at what they do on the field, not only off the field, but what they do on the field, it's unbelievable. I know that the fans love it, and I just hope that the young guys that come in over the next 12 months or so, they can pick it up and jump aboard, because those two guys going forward are going to take us, I think, to a very, very exciting period. I'm excited, guys, for next year. If we do forget what happens this year, but I am excited for next year. If we take those two guys and put them as vice captain and captain, I think it could change the whole potential of this football club and team going forward. I really believe that.
Yeah. I agree, Daz. And on Maynard, he's probably led our winning streak. Like, Maynard's been key to this revitalization. Like, sorry to Darcy Moore, but you would never have seen a team this hyped up with Moore as captain. Maynard brings out he brings the best out in our players. And I agree. I think he should get the captaincy for at least a year. And then after you go to Nick. But yeah, like those two to me, are key to our winning streak.
Yeah. And the reason why I'm mentioning it too, because I think we are now seeing the change of guard. We now know that there are some question marks. There have been some for a while for Pendles and Soddy's never been a leader. He's just been a helper, and he's been a very good player. He'll be a legend for the football club, no doubt about that. And he'll go down as one of our all-time greats. He's going to get close to 400 games. I can't see him going on next year. And we know how great Pendles has been as a leader and as a player, even after captaincy. And look, I respect Darcy. There's no doubt about that. But, you got to have a change. You've got to have a transition and so forth. And this is a great change and transition I'm seeing. And I hope the club is getting involved in that. And I hope Darcy, can just get his body right and fix the issues that he has on field, because his good is very good and his bad is very bad and very poor for the football club and for the team. It's very disheartening when you see your captain make the mistakes Darcy is starting to make. And he should be able to go on another 2 or 3 years, but he's got to get his body right. But he needs to forego the captaincy. We need to change the direction. And the reason why I'm mentioning that, it's an exciting period. Yeah, we're going to be upset. We're going to be disappointed, and we're going to be sad when Pendles and Sidey put the cue in the rack, and when Howie goes as well. But, it is a transition. They can't go on forever. And what I noticed last night with Pendles, did a few good things. Sidey was doing a few good things here and there, but they're slow and they're flat-footed. And even though their minds aren't too far off the mark, they're just finding themselves, they're getting in positions now where they never used to get into positions, where they actually are now fumbling the ball. And it's costing us. It's costing us because I just don't think the body and the mind is working at the same speed at the moment. They're not able to. The game has certainly caught up with both of them. And, we should not be upset about that. They've had a great career, but for the club's sake, I think they need to make a decision, and we'll probably know about it in the next month, what they're going to do. And I said this probably at the start of the year, that I wouldn't be surprised if actually all 3 retire, including Jeremy Howe, all at the same time, all officially, after whatever game it may be. I just don't think there's a chance that all 3 play on next year. There may be a chance Howie goes on, but I can still see a chance that maybe all 3 decide based on 2 factors. One, you got another pre-season, another full season, and then with Jeremy, you're only one injury away from maybe that being the last game that you officially play. The body is holding up pretty well this year. We'll give him credit for that. He's bounced back really well from a pretty tough trot last year. But, sometimes, it's best to make the decision before the decision makes it for you, before you're actually forced into that decision. No alternative but to retire because of too many injuries, or you're basically just getting totally embarrassed, or, everyone's posing the question to you. I don't want to have those questions posed to any one of them again next year. So, and fans are pretty patient when it comes to waiting for people like that to call it a day. But sport is sport, guys. I've watched cricketers do this for years and years and years. They bat on and they play, and then they can't make a run and all of that sort of stuff. The real greats of cricket and things like that. Tennis players the same, they go on and on and on. It's the hardest thing to do, to say that I'm finishing up. It must be hard when you've been doing that for decades, or in some cases since you've been a young fella growing up, and it's the sport that you picked. It's a tough time, to make that decision. But I'm hoping that all 3 will go out their way, basically, and they're honest enough to say it and do it. I think they will. But it's an exciting period, I think, going forward for next year. I'm rambling on a bit too much, guys, but yeah, I know.
No, Daz, no, never.
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 Never does.
I know. I've actually ultimate greatness is probably I probably passed him in regards to all the words in such a short period of time. I know we gone off Dan Houston, but yeah, I just wanted to give a tick. I wanted to give off a tick to Bruzzy because I don't know whether you guys rated Bruzzy's game last night. I thought, yeah, it was outstanding. I know he probably didn't get a lot of possessions, but the way that he controlled and got himself involved and made sure that defence wasn't going to fall to pieces last night when it could have was outstanding. And he set up a lot of play through that game from his attacks through defence, through either a kick or a handball, and then he was still running forward even after that. And he was leaving his man. It was a bit of a risk, but he was leaving his man. And in 9 times out of 10, it seemed to work for us. You know, a few times he had to press back pretty quickly. But yeah, I was really keen on, the fact that I thought that it was one of his, and I think he's had really 2 or 3 really good games now. I don't think he's had a poor year, but his game against Gold Coast, we all saw it, the way that he fired them up and all of that, and busted shoulder and all of that only not that long ago. I think that
still got a busted shoulder.
He's absolutely got a busted shoulder, and I don't think the other one's much better either, actually, to be quite honest. I mean, the amount of bangs that he goes, and he doesn't care. The man doesn't care. He'll still do it. Now, name me another player that will actually
Darren Mullane.
Put himself in. Yeah, do that when you've got a busted shoulder, only a week or 2 later. Throw himself back into it again. And don't care
name me another
himself.
player like Bruzzy who's alive. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good point. Matty, you remember Pants Mullane? He does remind you of Pants Mullane just with his attack. Now, I'm a great fan. I was a great fan growing up of Pants Mullane, and Pants was he kicked goals. He was tough and hard, and he took the hits, and he handed a bit out as well. But I think if you take a look at Bruzzy and if you take a look at Pants, just did more. If you look at the last sort of 30 plus years, those two sort of they relate a little bit in the way that they play. And I've heard Pies supporters, Collingwood supporters, and they put it on social media and all of that. There's quite a few Pies supporters that actually, when they think of Bruzzy playing, they also think of the late Darren Mullane, because he was just all in, mate, and not a care in the world. He had broken collarbones, and he had shoulder problems as well. I think he had an occasional broken rib and so forth. But the guy just went in there and he just went. He ran through them and he couldn't care less. Bruzzy's the same. And I think that's why I love it, because we've sort of got another player in another era that I remember doing what he used to do back in, back 30 years ago, whatever. So 30 plus years ago. And I don't know, I just respect those types of people. I know you can't make everybody play like that. You're never going to get Dan Houston to play like that. You're not going to get Quaynor to play like that. But, it's good to have one of those in your team. That's why I was saying that, I think all these dickheads that, can't wait to bloody, go on social media and criticise Bruzzy because and I think there's a lot of people that still haven't forgiven him for what he did to Brayshaw in that Melbourne game, and they need to get over it. I think there's a lot of bad feelings still. How many years ago was that? They just need to get over it. It was a football act. It was unfortunate. But Brayshaw had how many concussions before that? He had like 8 or 9 concussions before that.
He had one 45 minutes earlier.
Yeah. But he had also others even before that and earlier in the year.
He got concussed. He got kneed in the head by Taylor Adams, and he should have been off the ground. That's why he was so lackadaisical when he took that kick. He was wandering all over the place. I nearly said Mullane. Bruzzy jumped up to smother and and Brayshaw ran sideways into his path. Like where Bruz jumps up to the left of where he was, and Brayshaw ran to the right sideways, which is weird, just after you've kicked it. Whoever runs sideways after you've kicked it, because he was concussed. He was already concussed. So the issue should have been on Melbourne. Why did they leave him out there when he should have been taken off for the protocols after he got kneed in the head by Taylor Adams? So it was a total accident. He's jumping up to spoil, and Brayshaw ran underneath him, and he landed on top of him.
Yeah.
But Melbourne supporters are so fucking dumb, it's not worth arguing with them.
Well, yeah,
Do we
it was
blame-
like a smother. Go on.
Was. He jumped up to smother, the guy ran underneath him.
Yeah.
He didn't run in to knock him over or whatever. His intention was to try and smother the footy, trying to smother the footy. That's how you smother the football. Yeah, sometimes watch guys who do smother. You don't see it much these days, unfortunately. But, the people that used to smother, back in, I got taught when I was playing footy, sometimes you just got to jump up to smother the footy. You see them standing on the mark sometimes. Stand rule, fair dinkum, don't get me started on that. But honestly, the people who back in the good old days, mate, when I say the good old days, you had some crazy umpiring decisions back then. But, the guys that were on the mark, they, did used to make an effort to stand up. Now, often it was worth nothing, but you get the occasional dud kick that, goes straight up, goes nowhere, and you can smother the ball. But, even if you get a short kick and somebody plays on and then you dive forward, you're trying to smother the ball. That's all Bruzzy was trying to do. He was diving forward to try and smother the ball. It was a dive to smother.
Were you a backman or a forward, Daz? Where did you play?
Halfback flank. I played a little bit of wing, not Lipinski type, but halfback flanker wing, and not very good, mate. So I can't claim to be, but I played probably 100 games, something like that.
Were you a talker though? Did you talk a lot to your opposition opponent? I'm just getting this vision where I'm lining up on the forward flank. I'm like, who's going to play? Oh, here comes fucking Daz. He's not going to shut up all fucking day. He's going to be just chewing my fucking ear off
Who's this
about
fucking idiot?
Oh, my God.
Who's this bloke? He can't fucking play. He's fucking mouthing off all the time, but he can't fucking play. He's not getting a touch. But how can he hear his fucking voice all the time? Why don't somebody come around and fucking shut him up? Yeah, I used to get a bit of that. Exactly. I one of my last games,
Tony
mate,
Shaw.
somebody...
You like Tony Shaw.
A bit like Tony. Actually, you're quite right. A few guys reckon I was a bit like Shawry, but, probably not as nauseating as Shawry. Shawry actually got the ball a fair bit, though.
Was it
and
like...
He was captain, so he could mouth off.
Did you sledge, or
no,
it was
it
more
wasn't
like
really-
conversational? Like, have you tried those hot dogs and the caffeine? And not bad. The pie warmer's a bit warm though, and just regular conversation.
No, I wasn't really a sledger. I was a bit too frightened. Actually, I was a bit frightened of.
Just conversation.
I'm only not even a Collingwood 6-footer. So I'm a bit under that. So I'm about 5'10", 5'11", and that's why I played halfback or a wing. But I was pretty quick. That's why I got play. I played on the wing. I used to run off some of the old slow guys that played half forward or whatever. That was my string to my bow. That I used to run away from guys. Sometimes I took a few. I sometimes used to run and take a few bounces, and I got a bit carried away and I overdid it. And second bounce, it used to go haywire, and basically it was a turnover. So I probably got a bit carried away there, running too quickly for bouncing the ball. But I was pretty fair. I just have little. I was sort of the player that would come out with the one-liners. I would never get personal or anything like that. But if I was on top of somebody, probably the worst thing to do is say things too early, because they can always turn it around and make you look really stupid later on in the game and then kick 5 on you, which probably happened a few times. But, if I was on top early, I used to say, well, when you're going to get a touch and, you're going to get dragged shortly and all this sort of stuff. But then quite often, if I went overboard, the really good players, if they're just having a bad 10 or 15 minutes, they'd have a 10 or 15 minute period where they would kick two on me. No, and actually I'd be the one dragged. I'd be the one taken off basically because of that. But no, there's always two or three guys in every team. I think any used guys that might have played footy, there always is a good thing that if you got at least two or three guys that are, that are sort of like maybe doing a little bit of talking to the opposition, not necessarily saying anything hopefully too bad, but just like in their ear a bit and reminding them.
Yeah.
But then, of course,
you got to, got to get in their ear.
Action speaks louder than words.
Hey, Davo, just thought I'd give you a reminder. Yeah, what's that? I think you've left your lights on. Just stuff like that. Sort of like you're just getting under their skin. It's sort of like a sledge, but it's also kind of helpful because he may have left his lights on. Just get in
used guys. Like used guys would remember Mickey Gafer. Well, most of you guys are old enough to remember Mickey Gafer. Who played as a defender, and he was a real, exactly. Who didn't get a lot of possessions, many kicks, but you're right, the glove. And his main job was just to quieten down and stop and negate any dangerous forward. And he could play on the taller forwards, or he could play on the smaller forwards. He wasn't slow; he was reasonably quick as well. Pretty sharp, sort of like run off.
Fit.
Yeah, super fit bloke. Kept himself fit, trim. Didn't have a lot of fat on him. Absolutely. Then you look at a guy who played often near the other side, like back pocket or half back, or he was a bit of a swing man, wasn't he? Remember Shane Kerrison?
Yep.
Who was a little bit the opposite.
Back pocket tagger.
Yeah, back pocket. But he sometimes went forward, sometimes, very rarely. But he was a pretty well-built guy. Not necessarily tall.
Hero.
Again, didn't often get a lot of possessions, but played, probably was, a guy that was sort of, I would call him probably, look, I'll call Mickey Gafer. I reckon, for me, he was such a good player, but, the opposition hated him. The opposition supporters, I used to just go along, watch teams, and they just couldn't stand this guy because they knew that his job was just to stop the opposition forwards, not get much of the ball himself, but his job was just to basically clean up and do a good job. But look, I reckon he was sort of a bit annoying as well, from what I heard from opposition supporters and even through chats with other players.
Oh yeah.
He got on their nerves and so forth. So I mean, you've got to have somebody like that in the team. But look, back in those days, I mean, like you mentioned before, Shorey. I mean, he would have been probably so annoying. I mean, he said for years that that's the way he played. He got up. He basically wanted to do that. It made him feel like he needed to do it to play well, basically, to have a crack at the opposition, to have a few things to say to the opposition and so forth. But then you got the
Shorey.
You got yeah, absolutely. But then you got the guys that could
imagine getting you and Shorey on a fucking live stream. Be just like it'd be like a test match. It'd go for 5 days.
He'd tell me to shut up. I reckon he'd tell me, no, I'd have to listen to Shorey. He'd tell me, I say, mate, well, who are you? You're nobody. You listen to me. I'm a Collingwood captain. But then, as I was saying, then you get a guy like Gary Pert, who is just so, authentic, and, reminds me a little bit of Jeremy Howe, plays centre halfback, basically fullback, all those types of roles, can take a good mark, clean, good kick, basically, very similar type of player. Purdy was sort of like that player that you could sort of rely on. And he could play on the tools or the smalls as well. Not overly quick, but a guy that was actually good defender. Basically, I know he originally came from Fitzroy, obviously. So but we had him and got him at a good time as well. You got to have it's like swings and roundabouts. You got to have everybody. You got to have the guys that are a nuisance value, and then you got guys that are really that you can rely on, that can actually got the skill, and they can take the marks and basically sort of like pinpoint guys further afield, which was a bit like Purdy and so forth. Then you got Craig Kelly, who again used to annoy the crap out of all the opposition supporters, and I know that he annoyed the opposition team as well. And he was a pretty in and out type of player in regards to crashing in and all that sort of stuff. Not overly skilled. I wouldn't say Ned was overly skilled, but at the right time, he was a good fit for the team at the right time in that era, and he complemented most of those defenders. He played alongside Mickey Gafer, of course. So he complemented. We had some really, I think, underrated players back in those days. Craig Starcific, I underrated. I thought, and then you look at our ruckman back then, James Manson and Monkhorst. Have a look at them. Not what you would call physically, great in regards to stature, but they did the job, didn't they? And
and by the way, have you heard that Age has got a new channel? Age's channel is going to basically name every single Collingwood player who's ever played for Collingwood. And mate, if you go on for much longer, you're really going to make him redundant. Like,
fucking hell, shut up there. Fucking hell. Sorry, guys.
You're stealing Age's thunder there, bro.
I'm actually single-handedly have changed the fucking topic from Dan.
That's 2 chapters.
Dan Houston told me to get on and change the topic so that he could get a bit of sleep.
Mate, if I didn't step in, you would have been into the 1950s.
No, I can't remember that, but can't remember the 50s. Lou Richards, Peter. I can go back as far as Peter McKenna. But I didn't see Peter McKenna. I didn't see him play. But I only know from what I hear, and I heard on all the streams, Collingwood streams, that a lot of the guys that come on, they rate Peter McKenna as well. Those that remember, they're old enough to remember, or just may have seen a bit of footage before he retired, that they rated Peter McKenna as one of in the top 10 of all-time great Collingwood players. I can't judge that because I didn't see him, but I'm only going on what other people are saying. Why would you doubt
Peter
them?
McKenna?
You shouldn't doubt those people.
I think, when it comes to McKenna, we're talking about the people should retire. I agree. Still side bottom should retire. Pendle should retire. Jeremy Howe, Peter McKenna, he's got to go as well. The Richardson. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm getting confused in errors. Anyway, I tell you what, though, if there was one past player that Collingwood could do with right now, who would you choose? Gordon Coventry or Peter McKenna? We need both of them right now, wouldn't it? We need a guy of that stature. We haven't had a gun full forward of that stature since Peter McKenna. Rocco was decent, big Sav. But anyway, can I go back to your original point?
Shut up now.
Yeah, I will go back to your original point. There was 2 key points about Darcy Moore, the current captain, and the other ones were the guys, the 35-plus year guys. At the start of the year, I had Sidebottom and Jeremy Howe as the ones who would go, and Pendles would be given an extra year. Since then, Sidey has gone downhill. He actually isn't. He shouldn't even be in the first team. He should be playing VFL. And ever since the record-breaking game for Pendles, he has really. It's like he was building himself up to that, and he's just run out of gas. He's on a slightly different level to Sidey. He's okay, but I think we'd be better off to have a Will Hayes or a young defender in the side than Pendles. Jeremy Howe, I think he goes on because he is our second best player at the moment. This is the best football he has ever played. Not only is he doing his marking and his spoiling and his intercept marking, he's also our best kick.
Yeah, I agree.
So he, it could happen. We give him another year and he does a fucking 10-week hamstring injury and that's it. That could happen. So we've got to take he's the guy I'm risking because he's always been a gun, but he's just got better. So if his body holds up, he's getting at least another year. Sidey and Pennells go. As for Darcy Moore, no, he's done. Not only is he done as captain, but our backline is so much more settled and just defensive without him there because he plays about one good game in 8, and when he's there, everyone is nervous because you just don't know. Ironically, the last really good game he played was the first half of the Geelong game when he got no, that was his last game, but he played a half against Geelong, and he wasn't too bad. He wasn't that bad. He actually got concussed, I think, in the end. But no, he's just too unreliable. So if anything, he comes back, but not as captain. He can't be captain. He has to be made to earn his spot in the team. But he's just not in the best 23 now. Like Puncher is way better. He's straight away better than Moore. Howe is clearly better than Moore, and Billy Frampton's a one-on-one guy. So Darcy can't play one-on-one. Puncher's already better than him in 3 games. Much more solid and reliable. Obviously, Howe and Frampton are ahead of him. And if one of those guys is injured, we've shown that we don't need more than 2 defenders. So with Darcy's body, he's not a good leader anyway. He's constantly getting told what to do by Howie and Pendles. He just should retire. And he shouldn't have been captain in the first place. In fact, it was really detrimental to his own game because when he became captain, his own game started to go downhill. Some people just shouldn't be captain because it affects their own game. So that was a wrong decision to give it to Darcy Moore. Should have been just Pendles 1 more year, and then Bruzzy had it for a few years, and then Nick has it. But I think they give it to Nick now. Bruzzy's 30. I think Nick is pretty much as good a captain as Bruzzy is. Different types of players. Bruzzy wouldn't care if he's not captain. He's like our spiritual captain anyway. He wouldn't care about that label. It's not going to make him better. He will say if you had those 2 blokes lining up and said, "Hey, we're trying to work out who should be captain right now, Braden and Nick. We want to have a chat to you." Maynard would butt in and say, "Give it to Nick."
I agree.
Give it to Nick. This is my captain. You want to give it to me? That's fine. This is who I want to be captain. I'm right behind him. He should be the next captain. Nick will turn around and go, "Oh, thanks, mate. Do you want to be captain, Nick?" Absolutely. That's it. Done. I'm vice captain. Nick's. That's what Bruz would say. And that's what Nick would say. This co-captain stuff, no, we don't need that. Just give it to Nick. If Nick turned around and says, if Nick turned around and says, "I don't think I'm ready yet," that's different. I think I would like to wait a couple of years because I'm not sure it'll affect my game. I don't think he's going to say that. But if he said that, okay, great. Give it to Bruz for a year or 2. I'll be totally fine with that. But I think Nick would go, "Nick, are you ready to be captain?" What do you think Nick's going to say? "Absolutely, I am. I'll do it. I'll start today." What do you think Bruzzy's going to say? "I'm right behind him. I'm your fucking underboss, mate. I'm there for you." That's what the conversations that will happen, I would think. Who would disagree with that?
All the reports that I heard,
I agree with that.
If it was a player vote, they said like Maynard would actually win the captaincy if it was all up to the players in the locker room.
I don't know, Josh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it would be split.
I reckon if Bruzzy, you're right. Yeah, I reckon
They're gonna
Bruzzy
be
would
split.
say, "Give it to Nick." I reckon he would say it, and I'd be happy to. I would be honoured to be Nick's vice captain. I reckon Bruzzy
Absolutely.
would come out and say that. He
I
would
reckon
say that.
if they, before the vote, Bruzzy would go out and say, guys, we're going to vote for this. I'm telling you, my vote is Nick Dacos, and point to him. The thing is, if Bruzzy was 27, that's different, because when you name someone as a captain, you're seeing them as, this guy's here for 5-year minimum as our captain, but Bruzzy's 30. So when you get an older captain, it's a situation. I'll give you an example. Scott Burns, great servant of the footy club. He captained it for 1 year. When Bucks retired prematurely, because they thought he was going to go for another couple of years, we didn't have anyone. So basically, they gave it to Burnsy, who was sort of nearing retirement himself. And he's great. Love Scotty Burns. And yeah, good choice for captain. But it's not ideal to have a captain for a year or two. You want your captain to be, this is our guy. We see this guy being captain for 7 to 10 years, ideally. So if you can give it, the younger you can give it to a captain, like Wayne Carey, perfect example. What was he, 22? Stephen Kernahan, similar, very young, but they thought, this is a leader. We want a 10-year captain. That's ideal. Nick, 23, 10-year captain. That's what they'll be all thinking. And I think, Josh, maybe you're right. Maybe if they voted for it, maybe the whole team goes, yep, where majority would vote for Maynard, maybe. But sometimes the powers that be are going to set in, yeah, respect your decision, but this is the way we're going. And Bruzzy, who is the one, it's either him or Dakes, it'll be Bruzzy going, nah, this is who's going to be. He would actually say, nah, guys, this is the guy. Let's get behind him for the next 10 years plus. That's what I think.
I heard Angus Anderson on one of the footy shows today or yesterday get interviewed. And
Sunday footy show?
Sunday footy show. And he was talking, they mentioned
very
Nick
good, wasn't he?
He has just got so much praise, and he lauded Nick and just said, this guy is just unbelievable. You know, he just responds. He's a leader. He called it, basically said it just lifts. He lifts everyone. And I used to hear, like, early in the year, I was hearing Collingwood supporters, and look, I respect they've got their own opinions. I respect that. They can have a differing opinion. But for people to turn around and say, you know, oh, still too young. You know, he's 22, he'll be 23 next season when the footy season's up and running again. You know, I don't think you'd use that as an argument anymore. The guy's been in our team now and being the absolute leader of this football club. How many times this year, whether he's been vice captain or captain when Moore hasn't been there this year, he's taken the team on, put him on their shoulders, put the team on his shoulders, and he's just absolutely gone flat out. We're going to get this win, boys. We're going to try and get this win, and he has done that. Yes, in his he's 22, and he's doing that as a fill-in captain or vice captain, whatever turn it might have been, Bruzzy or Nick's turn, but he's still been doing that more times than not. And I just don't think it would faze him one little bit. This business about, too much pressure on Nick. He couldn't care less.
No,
it wouldn't worry him. He's got the pressure on him already. This is a guy that has had an opportunity without, you know, I'm here to, you know, here's another drive-by. The fucking umpires who have just totally ignored him in regards to some of the amazing games that he's played over the last two and a bit years. Should have won at Brownlow by now, in my opinion. As a 20-year-old or a 21-year-old, should have won one, if not two, yes. And, you know, he might be looking at if he'd done that, we might be looking at number 3. Hopefully that'll happen this year. I'm hoping. I'll be absolutely amazed if he gets cut. His lunch is cut again by, you know, certain people. But, you know, I've seen him enough this year to know that he has been outstanding, and he's won so many games. He's turned a lot of games. He's changed the momentum of games as well. He's doing this as a young 22-year-old, and he's doing it quite regularly. And he's not necessarily. And also the other thing too, let's not forget, a lot of these games he's going out and playing, he's not fully fit either. He hasn't been fully fit. He's got niggles. He's got problems, and he's still getting him through the game. You saw the other week he came off, and they were working on his calves and so forth as well. Have a look at the way that he ran last night or the night before against in the Carlton game, from half back, almost back pocket and setting play up, and then he kept running to get another possession, 50 metres further on to be in the period of play and piece of play to try, and that's a fucking unreal performance to sort of be doing that. You name me another Collingwood player that has done that for us in recent times, that travels from the 50 defensive 50 to our forward 50, and it just keeps going flat out and wants to be, being in not only the first bit of play, but possibly in the last piece of play, so that we have an opportunity to hit the scoreboard. This guy does it all the time. It doesn't have to be, first quarter, second quarter, or even third or final quarter. He's doing it. And I'm seeing it constantly. I've seen it not just last night. I've seen it numerous times. He did it in the North game. He did it in the Gold Coast game. He did it early in the year, in other games as well. He's played, I reckon, 2 average games this year. Then he missed the one game because of injury. That might have been Brisbane, I think. But, exceptional performance other than that. And, the guy just plays that one way. Angry Anderson just said it all. You just want to play well when he's out there, because he just lifts you. He's a true leader, no doubt about it. So anyone that wants to argue, and I respect it, people have a differing opinion about Nick being too young. For me, forget it. That's not enough. That's not a good enough argument to say he shouldn't be captain, because he's a leader, and he's just, he wants to win. And you want people like that on your, you want to be playing on that same team that he's on, basically. And, I trust what the players are saying. So what I heard from Angus Anderson, I believe that would be something that most players would be thinking of. And yes, they'd say the same thing about Brozzy in another way, in regards to, how tough and hard and inspirational he is. And, he puts his body on the line every single contest. And, and he inspires as well. He inspires differently, but he also inspires. So that's why I was saying earlier that those two guys, you couldn't get 2 better guys to be your vice captain and captain going forward. That's why my vote would be for Nick personally, but I don't have a vote. But that would be my vote, because I've just given you all the reasons why, and there's no reason why Bruzzy shouldn't be his vice captain, again, for the exact same reasons I mentioned earlier as well. That's just my opinion anyway. That's what I think will happen. I'm hoping the players, and for Darcy's sake, it just needs to change for his own future. Oh, send everyone to sleep now, have I?
No, I'm still here. I agree. I agree with Daz. I agree with Daz. I think Nick Dacos is ready to be the captain. I think you should give him the captaincy now. Darcy Moore's finished. Give him the captaincy now. You can see Nick is the future captain. Look at him on the field. He's mostly been the captain on the field like most weeks. Look at him. He's mostly telling the players where to go every week. So I think I agree with Daz. Give Nick the captaincy now.
If we get Lachie Neale, definitely give Nick the captaincy. We'll take a bit of a burden off him being the only good midfielder we've got. So I'd definitely do if we get Neale.
It sounds like we are getting him.
Yeah, you'd hope so. But also, not only that, I mean, it's just, I think it also settles down any talk of him leaving the club. Not that I think he will leave the club, but it'll stop the talk. I think it'll generally will stop the talk of Tassie coming after him again or any other club offering. I mean, there was even a story 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't know. Interestingly, ironically, it was a week or so before we were playing the Gold Coast Suns. There was a story written, I forget who the journo was, but anyway, they made some story in regards to, Gold Coast talking to Nick about coming up there and playing. Why would Nick leave Collingwood where he's got crowds like 90,000 most weeks at the MCG? And even when you go into state, you're still going to get full houses because Collingwood supporters travel there too. And you get big crowds like that. You play on Anzac Day and all these big games. Why would he pack his bags? I mean, the argument of going to Tasmania is one thing, but it's laughable that he would actually think about going to a basket case club, an organisation like the Gold Coast Suns, who, might I say, are back to where they were 3 or 4 years ago. Irrelevancy. They've gone back to where they were back at that point in time, to a nobody football club where no one turns up and supports them. The crowd and the atmosphere, unless you get a Collingwood crowd there, there's no atmosphere, and the club is basically a nothing organisation. Why would he do that? That is just stupidity from any journalist that writes crap like that. They're just wasting their time, because that would be the last place that he would go. And then that people would say, "Oh yeah, but Gary Ablett Jr. went there." Yeah, well, things are different. I think Nick is different to Gary Ablett Jr. Nick would never do that. And I really believe that. And I'm sorry, Lucas, but I'm here to say that I believe Nick would think differently to what Gary Ablett did back in those times where he left the Cats. And eventually he came back to the Cats anyway.
Didn't Gary Ablett Jr. only went because of money?
Yeah,
and his old
Yes.
man was like broke.
Yes, he went
I
because
need the
of
money
money.
of the family.
Yes.
Got the captaincy as well. Yeah.
Yeah, he went because of the money.
Yeah,
And then
when he
regretted it.
His father's broke. That's why he needed the money.
Yeah, Gold Coast got majority of his prime. And when he came back to Geelong, his arm was fucked. That's a very sad situation. We wish he didn't do that, but I think there was rifts between Ablett and Bomber Thompson, the coach. So yeah, I don't like it, but it's the way it is, isn't it? So if you get that kind of money,
and it was insane money too. Insane money. I know he was a great player, and Geelong's best player in that period of time. I mean, they had some really good, decent players back then. Bartel and people like that, obviously. They had a good team back in that period of time, but insane amount of money. And yeah, you're right. The dollars were, everything at that point in time, obviously. I don't know what. Perhaps he did have a bit of a stoush or a riff with some people down at the Cats and so forth. But I don't think Nick's that sort of person.
Yeah, if he had his time again, I think Ablett wouldn't go. I think more or less he probably said he'd probably admit that. But it's just one of those sad situations that you don't ever want to see happen. And unfortunately, it did. And when he came back, he was just his majority of his problems with Gold Coast. Won the Brownlow there. And
exactly.
Manny did his shoulder against us.
Exactly. Yeah. That's when the talk about Dacos going to a Gold Coast or whatever. And my question to people would always be, do you think if you ask Gary Ablett Jr. right now if he regretted, with his legacy and everything, if he regretted going to Gold Coast, of course he's going to say absolutely the money wasn't worth it. Because as a one club player, you get that loyalty, and you might lose $1 million, but you're going to get repaid that 5 times with all of the events and sporty nights and sponsorships and fucking commercials and everything. And I'm sure most Geelong fans, if they're critical thinking especially, would agree with that, right, Lucas?
Oh, absolutely. Well, if they have a brain, yeah. He would have won 2 premierships. He would have won 2 premierships if he stayed with us. But no, I can tell you if you had a convo 1-on-1 with him, I'd be very surprised if he said no. I'll do it again. I don't think he would. I think he would.
Yeah, he wouldn't say it publicly.
No, not publicly. No, but I think privately, yeah, I don't think he would even bother with that the way it happens. Because, like I said, his peak performance, his peak prime was with Gold Coast. Like that was his really good prime from his 28 to 32. That was with Gold Coast, and we never actually got that, which is very, very sad. Because, like I said, we would have won 2 flags. But he went for money, and which he did. There's no sugarcoating that. And it really damaged Geelong's reputation at that time. And he probably cost himself 2 flags. So, and when he came back, unfortunately, he was not the same. He did that shoulder, and yeah, he was pretty much done. So, sad situation.
When did he leave? 2010.
Yeah, the end of 2010.
Yeah, the end of he wasn't with us now. 2011 Premiership. I think 2010.
So he would have played. He would have won a flag in 2011, and Geelong probably win one more, probably 2012, 2013, around that time when you were still very good. Just you were making prelims, right? And
correct.
Ablett's still there, probably gets them one more.
Yeah.
So
When did you get Dangerfield?
215, I think. 215.
Yeah, you would have probably won it that year because he got the Brownlow, I was saying, in his first year, Dangerfield. So if Ablett and Dangerfield and Selwood, you'd think you'd get that one.
So Ablett came back around 2017. So 2012 to 2017. 2011 to 2017, I think. His prime years were fucking wasted at Gold Coast, and I don't think Nick would want to waste his prime years at a team that isn't going to do anything, to be honest.
same with Tassie, like as if he's going to go to Tasmania.
Yeah, no.
Ken Hinckley's got the job for Tasmania.
Yeah, that was interesting. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. I was surprised.
So Bucks to Geelong, Lucas.
We're calling the point.
Yeah, started already, Lucas.
Where's Bucks? Where's Bucks going to land? Where's Bucks going to land, everyone?
He only went to Geelong because he could. Yeah, he only went to Geelong to help him get the Tassie job. That's fallen through now. So where's he going to go now?
Maybe he just went there to get a job.
Buckley
wants a flag. Is he getting that at Tasmania? No, they're not.
No, he's taking over from Chris Scott.
I was going to say that. Just going to say that, Chris.
Yeah.
Hey, Lucas, you're going to have Nathan Buckley coaching you in a year or two.
Good luck with that, Lucas.
Maybe next year.
Maybe
It's
Chris
all
Scott
part of the
does it.
plan. It's all part of the plan.
Chris Scott does the John Longmine race quick.
Things.
He might put Bailey Smith at fucking halfback.
Hey, you think I'm critical of Fly? You should have seen me with Bucks. But having said all that, and I was his number one critic, I reckon Bucks will be all right the second time around. As long as he takes a bit of 2018 philosophy. See, Bucks was about to get sacked in 2020 in 2017. We finished like second last or something, and the powers that be at Collingwood said, "Bucks, you're too much of a micromanager. You try and do everything yourself. You try and treat everyone like they're you. Not everyone is Scott Pendlebury. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in a whole set of different assistants. You are going to start delegating. You're going to do what you're good at, and we're going to bring people in that are good at stuff that you're not good at. And that's the option. The other option is you fuck off." And he took his medicine and he took him up the ladder 13 spots, and he was that close to winning a flag.
Yeah,
and that was his window. So he's shown that he can grow and that he can change, and very proud and stubborn, and some would say arrogant guy. So I actually think he will be a good coach the next time around. But history does say that once you've been there and got close or won a flag, when you go to another club, it's very unlikely you'll be successful. So I'm on the fence with it, but I have a feeling wherever he goes next, unless it's Essendon or Carlton, because you're doomed to fail if you go there, either of those clubs.
He won't be
let's
going
be
to
honest.
Carlton. Graham Wright sacked him, so you won't appoint him the coach, you wouldn't think.
And Essendon have probably already made up their mind with someone.
Yeah, Anthony's
so
made
I
a good
reckon he might go to Gold Coast. He might even go to Collingwood one day, not in the next couple of years, but Geelong is probably the most likely, because Lucas, you reckon that Chris Scott's on the way out, right?
Brisbane maybe too.
Brisbane maybe, yeah.
Fagan's like 66.
I reckon Chris Scott might end up at Brisbane eventually. Anyway, watch what might happen at Gold Coast next year. I reckon he's going to pull the pin. If they have a shit year, well, they're having a shit year this year now. But if they have another shit year next year, I reckon he's the sort of guy who's just going to say, I'm not having this anymore. Fuck this. Go back to Victoria. He's just not going to put up with it. I mean, you've seen the way how testy and how
he fucked this
cranky
season too.
he's been over the last 6-7 weeks. The spiral down the ladder and all that. I had him in the top 4 this year.
They might sack him.
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, I reckon he might freaking pull the pin.
I won't be surprised if they sacked him, and I mean this year. I won't be surprised if they sacked him at the end of the year.
That comment when he said our season's gone, that was fucking horrible for that's just saying to the players. That just gave the players okay, we're done. Cue in the rack then, I guess.
No need to try anymore.
But was he trying to take the pressure off winning for them and trying to create a win that way and take the pressure off, like Fraser when he took over Carlton?
I don't know.
But they're not going to be successful because there hasn't been a Gold Coast sporting team really that I know of that has been successful anyway. I mean, they had a bit of an uptick last year and they won their first final and all that. But they had a bloody good draw too. Have a look at the draw they had too. That was probably bound to happen anyway. But things went their way.
Yeah, they played us in the opening round. They smacked us by 50 points. And we thought, they're going to be top 4. And then they were 7-3. Rich Boyd was in here because he could confirm this. They played Essendon and Gold Coast, and they were terrible. Like, they were awful in that game. And ever since that game, they've been completely off the boil, absolutely off the boil. They haven't won a game since they bet Port Adelaide and Darwin. That's 8-9 weeks ago.
Yeah. And, all the top 10 draft picks and all the concessions and everything else that they've got over the years, last 3 or 4 years as well, to prop them up. Because as, not that I'm a great fan of Ross Lyon, but he did say AFL Nepo babies. So, I mean, ironically, he's come back to bite them and all that. Not that I think the Saints, they do something in an opposite fashion, go and get these half players and try to make a good team out of, guys that are sort of like B grade footballers and so forth, or maybe C+ footballers. That hasn't exactly worked this year either. With some of the guys that they got in the off season, but anyway, that's a different story. But number 1 draft picks and inside top 10 draft picks and all the concessions and all the help that they've got over the years. I mean, when did they come in the Gold Coast? Is it 15, 16 years ago? 15 seasons ago?
2011.
Yeah, so this is their 16th season and they've made finals once. And they've been a basket case for 14 seasons or 15 seasons. And this year, when everyone expected them, including myself, I must admit, I got absolutely, totally hooked up with what they did last year. I expected them to finish top 4, and look where they're going to finish. They're probably going to finish. They're probably going to finish about 15th.
Yeah.
They might be struggling to win another game. I haven't looked at their draw. But the way they're going at the moment, they may struggle to win another game.
They've got no
They
soul.
got-
There's no what jumper are you playing from? What the AFL needs to do, okay, because they're
Hold
a
'em.
business, they're going to go Suns, GWS, right? Suns relocate or just totally disband, and just split them up and send players to wherever. Because Tassie are coming in. Tassie is a football state, right? Queensland and New South Wales are not. You only
Correct.
have to live. I lived in Sydney for 10 years. Right? They can't stand AFL there. And no amount of any bullshit is going to change their minds. They fucking hate AFL, especially in the western suburbs. That is so dumb to have a footy club in the western suburbs. Sydney, they've got their little cliquey niche in the eastern suburbs there in fucking Moore Park and around that Bondi and Paddington, all these fucking nerdy Swan supporters who don't have any idea about the game. That's it. They can get 30,000 people there. That's it. There's no growing it. They're going to move GWS to Canberra and move Suns to Tassie. That's it. No concessions whatsoever to Tasmania. It just Suns just moved to Tasmania. So they're going to be called the Tasmania Unsuns, and that's it. That's and then we don't have to rape the talent, the young talent. The Suns just move there, and for players who don't want to move there, maybe they get a couple of draft picks. Solution. That's it. No, don't need a team on the Gold Coast. You need a team in the Tasmania. So we don't need to build them up over the next 5 years. We just move the Suns to Tassie. And you move GWS to Canberra. That's it. Done.
Easy.
Failure. You shouldn't have a team in GWS. You're never going to build the game in New South Wales as much more than the Brisbane Lions and the Sydney Swans. We should just accept that. But build the game. You're better off putting a team in the Northern Territory because at least it's a footy state.
Yes.
You can't grow AFL in states or countries for that matter that don't grow up on it. It's just a weird thing. It's our game. We're not Christian missionaries.
I'll tell you this, but Matt,
I
Queensland.
love footy, but it's not Jesus Christ. We're not the saviors. We haven't saved mankind. We're just Aussie rules footy. So it's failed. They need to realise it's never going to happen and cut their losses. GWS go to Canberra. They love AFL in Canberra. It's not as big as rugby league, but it's a really strong following. What I would do, I would move it to Canberra, but I'd play half a dozen games in Wagga every year because that area, southern New South Wales, mad for fucking footy. They love it. You know, it's where Kyri came from. That's where Kelly. That's where Kelly came from. That's where the Danahers come from. That is a massive. They love AFL in that southern New South Wales area. They could get behind the Giants. Western Sydney are not getting behind the Giants. Gold Coast are not getting behind the Suns. Just cut your losses. They're nothing clubs, and no one gives a fuck about them. And it's screwing the competition and watering down the talent as well.
What I can say about in Queensland about the Suns is, do you know that Queensland's got the second highest participation rate of AFL in the country?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yep.
But is that gonna relate into they're going to start? Because it's always been a high participation sport in New South Wales and Queensland for years. Why doesn't that relate into people interested in watching the game though?
That's why some people are like starting to whinge about the academies because the participation's high. And I think Suns will just get like 7-8 first rounders a year with academies.
Yes. That's why they're an all-star team.
Chris, you're up there. Do they get much publicity up there, the Suns? I know you're not at Gold Coast, but what do they talk about up there?
Josh is up there too.
Oh, Josh is up there. Okay. Well, what sort of do people talk about them up there?
No.
in the footy season?
No, they don't.
On the
What
Gold
about
Coast,
last
they
year?
do.
Well,
On the
no,
Gold
they don't.
Coast, they do. But if you're
Mm.
in Brisbane, it's more
Mm.
Broncos in the NRL.
Mm.
Yeah.
If you live at Gold
I
Coast,
wonder
Gold
what-
Coast has got a lot of ex-Melbourne people live up here.
Mm.
So the Suns get around the AFL more on the Gold Coast than Brisbane.
Mm.
I wonder what Christian Petrarca's thinking right now. He went up there thinking, I'm leaving Melbourne. I'm going up there. I'm going to be part of. He probably got hooked into hook, line, and sinker to Dimmer's great comment that, look at all these lovely toys. These toys are going to bring us our first premiership, and these are going to be premiership players in a few years' time and so forth. Have a look around this room. These are going to be the premiership players, the first time premiership players for this club, for the Gold Coast Suns. These brand new toys.
Most of the premiership players are in this room.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then you get a guy like Christian Petrarca pull up his stumps in Melbourne at the Melbourne Footy Club, and much decorated footballer. He's achieved a lot, all of that. Premiership player as well. And says, no, going up the Gold Coast, going to love it up here. Great little bunch of guys. We're onto something. We're going to be successful. I'm going to be joining a club with all this new talent, young talent, exciting talent, and have a look at them right now. Like 9-10 months later, after he made that decision, I'll just wonder what's going through his mind at the moment. Not looking good. Track, it's not looking too good.
See, wouldn't Josh, all of those expats who are Melbourne people who live in the Gold Coast, they might be into the footy, but I mean, they don't. I mean, if I'm living in the Gold Coast, I'm not going to stop barracking for Collingwood and start all of a sudden go for. I might get a membership for the Gold Coast just so my kids can go to the footy, but I'm not going to be a Gold Coast supporter.
No, do you guys have Suns' actual membership department's got like stepson membership for that? For like your actual support another team, but you're gonna be a Gold Coast member as well.
Right.
They actually like market on that, they do.
Right.
Well, my uncle lives in Gold Coast, but he doesn't support Gold Coast. He supports North Melbourne.
Yeah. I think that about Tasmania as well. Like I know a couple of people in Tassie, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we want the Tasmanian Devils," but they're like, one guy's like, obviously I know Dermot, and I go another guy who's a mad Melbourne supporter. He's excited about the Tasmanian Devils. He's not going to stop being a Melbourne supporter.
I'd have to have a lot of Hawthorn supporters, Tasmania, over the years.
Yeah, and a few North Melbourne as well, and all the rest. There'd be a lot of Collingwood supporters as well. Obviously, they're everywhere.
Yeah,
but it's like, are you gonna like? If you're into the footy, you have your team already. Like, I lived in Sydney for 10 years. Yep, sorry, Dad. Live in Sydney now. Fuck Collingwood. I'm gonna go for the Swans.
Maybe like in 30 years' time, when like kids grow up watching the Devils,
generations.
Maybe.
Yeah, the generation.
It'll take a bit of time.
Don't think Gold Coast have got 30 years.
Do you know who's the biggest mistake they've ever got? Hagen. Biggest mistake they've ever got.
Did you see? There's been nothing in the media because we know why there's been nothing in the media.
Yeah.
Hagen and what's the other fella?
Mac
the big African guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming out of the disabled toilet at the State of Origin.
Yeah.
Now, look, I know you guys are minorities, but you're not disabled, okay? So what are you doing in the disabled toilets? What are you doing in the disabled toilets, boys? Nothing in the media.
When
I saw that on Facebook, and there was like about 100,000 fucking views and all the comments. I'm like, oh, here is a big scandal. Nothing.
It made the news in Queensland.
Did it?
Yep.
Oh, so it's made the mainstream news in Queensland.
It did. I read it too.
Agenda setters, not on footy classifieds. I wonder why. Geez, they're a little bit protected up there, the Suns, aren't they? Imagine
No,
if that had
close-
been
close ranks.
Jordan DeGoey and Bo McCreary coming out of the disabled toilets in fucking the state of origin. That would imagine Kane Corns.
Yeah.
Could
Caroline
you
Wilson.
imagine? What
Oh,
are they
yeah.
doing? Well, we all know what they're doing. Caro would be going off. Caro
Caro
would have
was saying, "Oh, you can't have that."
self-combusted. She would have, you know that. Do you ever watch like 3AW when they they have radio interviews, but they film it? They've got the camera there, and you see like Caro doing that pouting thing she does with her lips.
She does.
If that had been Jordan DeGoey coming out of that toilet, her head would have self-combusted. She would have just glitched out.
She loved
Yeah,
going
but
on
just-
about Dane Swan.
Oh, Craig Kelly. This is Craig Kelly's fault. I've got it on good authority that Craig Kelly was in that toilet as well. She would have said. What I'm hearing, more than one person has spoken to me. God, that was a bad look.
I'm surprised someone actually recognised it was Mac Andrew and Jamara.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm surprised at that.
Did you see the look on Mac Andrews' face when he came out? He was just like
He looked high as shit.
his huge big bottom lip was just hanging down. He was just like, oh, fucking hell. Oh, I can't feel my face. Fucking hell.
You're right.
What were they doing in there?
Two Collingwood players, if that happened in Melbourne at the MCG or anywhere for that matter, two Collingwood players,
I remember it
would be splashed everywhere, even like 2 weeks later.
Genevan in the preseason where he got caught, they were going on about
in
yeah,
Torquay or somewhere.
2022 or 3.
Was it Torquay? Doing those beers somewhere?
Yeah, something like that.
Bailey Smith, yeah.
But how funny is it like that? It's Hugo Hagen and Andrew. You know, they're like controversial guys. Mac Andrew, is he the highest paid player in the league or second highest after Naz? He gets paid like $1.5 million or something, right?
He's on big.
That
He's on
1.2.
1 million.
Yeah, he's paid
Million
a lot
what?
by Gold Coast.
1.2?
1.2.
He's a park footballer.
Yeah.
He needs to put some weight on him. He does.
He looks like he's been playing the game for like 6 months. That's such a woke fucking thing to just give him all that money. Like,
He's not worth it.
Oh god, and he's got a bad attitude as well.
Yeah.
Like there's just his body language. He runs around yelling at people and giving away
Uses
50s
umpires.
He's
Yeah.
giving it to
Constantly
the
getting in fights.
umpires.
Yeah.
Like, and again, if that was like a non minority, fucking Caro would be going off at him.
Yeah,
And same with Hugo Hagen. Hugo Hagen. No one's talking about Hugo Hagen. He's moved on. He's obviously playing up with the Dogs. He's gone up to the Suns and just taking the piss. No one's talking about it.
Yeah, I know a dog supporter was not surprised when they realised
happy
that.
to get rid of him.
Yeah, they said that it's not surprising something like that happened to him up there. He said it was just a matter of time before controversy. But like you said, Matt, it's all sort of like the media in here in Victoria, in Melbourne, they just dropped a little, mentioned it and just half-heartedly mentioned it last week in their footy shows, and then they just quickly swept it under the carpet, moved on to the next topic, basically. So they really don't want to talk about it. It's not Collingwood or anyone like that, not a big club like that. So no need to talk about it. Oh, we'll leave them alone. Leave them
Gentleman got
alone.
suspended for us when he got caught. Yeah, they were allowed to play and everything.
Yeah. And Dimmer did say he wasn't a good look and all that sort of stuff, but that's the last we heard of it and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, He would have been pissed off. Don't worry about that. He would have been pissed off with those two. I reckon they would have got spoken to.
Oh,
Definitely. What the fuck are you doing?
And Dimmer would have been annoyed because he would have had HR talk to him about how they were allowed. Like he was now. Damien, now when you talk to Jamara and Mac, just be mindful, because of the culture. There would have been some bullshit like that, so that he would have had steam coming out of his ears. There would have been HR stuff, like,
Of course it would have been.
you know,
sensitivity training.
Yeah, but I would like to know. From what I saw, because I saw it was when I saw it, it was on a it was like a Queensland State of Origin page that I saw it on Facebook. But I'd like to ask you, Chris and Josh, from what I saw, the outrage in the media was that not that it was two guys coming out of the toilet. Look at outrage tonight that two AFL players were using a disabled toilet. That's for the disabled people. Like
the outrage was about them jumping the queue.
Able-bodied footballers should know better. There's, that's not
Fuck out of here. Yeah.
like that the Seinfeld episode when they use the disabled car park. They it's for disabled people. Hey, they don't drive. That was the thing. That was the angle that the media were going at. Oh my God, that's outrageous. Disabled toilet.
Well, it seems they don't give a fuck because look at that Andrew. He's still playing for Gold Coast, so it seems they don't give a fuck.
Oh yeah, had that been Collingwood, that would have been 2 weeks of news cycle. They would have both been given like probably couple of weeks banned. There would have been some sort of community work. They would have had the Salvation Army involved.
Working with disabled services.
Something, And we're not admitting to anything, but we want to say that helpline is there. If you're having a problem with depression or substances, call this number. Like, whoa, we're not. Hey, don't say that. We're not admitting to anything. Oh, well, the club would have been jumping over itself to show how woke they were. And no. We're going with the disabled toilet thing. Just don't talk. Fly, don't talk about it at the Prescott. Fly would have got up there and they're not on drugs. Shut up.
Well, the question I was going to ask Joshy, has Hugo Hagen been playing for Gold Coast?
No, he didn't even play in the VFL this week.
He's only played about 4 or 5 games this year for
Yeah, he's got the same problem as Bobby Hewin.
See, he was a mistake again, and he's now hasn't even been playing for him.
As we all say, guys, beware of the damaged goods. And
yes,
we've found this out with the drama surrounding that guy. I'm not going to mention his name. Number 23.
Yeah.
Number 23. And you're finding that out, Lucas, with your fellow over there.
We don't mention his name either.
That fellow's name, yes. And
yes.
Just beware of damaged goods, because sometimes, as I've said so many times on these sorts of topics, very, very rarely do leopards change their spots. Leopards don't change their spots.
No.
And, if you're going to pick up guys like that, you got to make sure, absolutely make sure, and I don't think you can actually guarantee anything like that, because they've got, they will go off to nightclubs. They will go off to these events. They will go off and do things. They'll try and I heard people saying like 12 months ago, 9 months ago, that, this is great for Hugo Hagen. He's going to be up the Gold Coast. He's out of the Victorian life. He's out of Melbourne.
Yeah, there's no party. You can't party up there.
This would be great for him. This would be great for him.
You only got the bikies up
Give
here
him
on the
another
Gold
chance.
Coast.
Look what he's done, He's up in Gold Coast and he's got up the mischief. I mean, we don't know. I can only assume that something indifferent was happening there. But I mean, these idiots, these journos, all saying, "Oh yeah, he'd be great up there. Great fit for Gold Coast."
He's
You
gonna
know,
just go down
Down in
there and
Melbourne.
he's gonna meditate on Cavill Avenue and
Yeah.
it's just like a retreat up there.
yeah,
Mm,
they will always find a place to
mm,
delve into these unforeseen places and areas of life. They will. I mean, they know the footballers aren't different to anyone else in society. They know where to go. They know where the people are. They know what to do. You know,
Yeah.
God's sake. I mean, socially, we can find places like that. You don't have to be in another. You don't have to just. It's not directed to just what goes on in Melbourne, for crying out loud. This sort of stuff is everywhere, and they know exactly where to go, what to do, and all that sort of stuff. And these dickhead journalists that sort of thought that everything was all going to be all hunky dory for Ugle Hagen, because he was going up there. I mean, fair dinkum. I mean, what a bloody bunch of dickheads they look now.
Mm.
And the season's still not over. So don't be surprised if before his contract ends that there is another story or two surrounding him. I wouldn't be surprised.
Realities for people who can't handle drugs.
mm.
Yeah. Money and drugs, mate. Money and drugs. That's what it's all about. And, you know,
Yeah.
and footballers, because footballers are getting this high dollar, and some footballers, and we mentioned a few of them already in this conversation, that they're on this massive amount of money and they're not what I would call worthy of it. I'll just put it that way. They're not really worthy of it. They haven't really played enough decent football to be earning that amount of money, but they've got that much money now that they're going to, you know, they're going to look for those, like some players, not all of them, some players are going to, you know, go in a direction like that, and, you know, they'll use that money for other avenues. You know, why wouldn't they? They're getting this exorbitant amount of money, and, you know, it's out there in society, so why wouldn't they? Oh, crikey. I mean, for Blind Freddie knows that, you know, you can go anywhere in Australia and as long as you've got a bag full of money, mate, you can get it anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
At any place.
Yeah.
Not that
Do
I
we
know,
think-
but I mean, I'm not speaking from experience, but I know this is I mean, people need to just, you know, have a think about it, you know. It's around. And if you got money, you can get it.
And the managers know. They know what they're doing as well.
But
Do
footballers,
we think that
and
guy
don't you
not
worry
to be
about that.
named? Do you think he'll be a Port Adelaide or in WA next year?
Who's that?
The one we're
The
not
no-name
cannot.
guy.
Yes, Port Adelaide or or in WA.
I don't know who you mean. Sorry, Chris, I've lost who you're referring to. I didn't.
Number
you cut out.
23 for Collingwood. Number
Oh,
23
yeah,
Yes.
for
yeah, yeah.
Collingwood.
Sorry, I know why you didn't want to say his name.
Yeah,
Okay.
she said not to say his name, so I didn't say his name.
I do apologise. I'm sorry about that. I'm
Yes.
glad that you didn't drop his name.
Yes.
So West
I
Coast.
don't know. Watch this space. He will be somewhere next year. There's probably no doubt about that. Hasn't that been interesting too? How quiet that's gone too suddenly. And now Collingwood are playing really well. You know, he's not funning up to training one day every 2 weeks or whatever, and being a distraction. And you know, we're starting to win games. You know,
He'll probably try to make an appearance
building
soon.
out.
He'll
Yeah,
make an
we didn't
appearance
have
soon
that
because Farn's
farcical.
around the corner.
We didn't have that farcical situation in the first half of the year when he's coming and going wherever he wanted to, and all of that, which was just frustrating the hell out of everyone. And, you know, Fly was getting asked this, that about him, you know, taking time up asking questions, and Fly was giving the lovely answers, the fluffy, lovely answers that obviously, I suppose, promotions were saying to him and all of that, you know, in regards to don't say anything bad or anything like that. Just keep it going. Make out that he's, you know, tracking okay, and we'll see him hopefully someday soon, or come back to training and possible play and all that sort of stuff. We all know now that was just background noise, basically trying to smooth it over. I think us supporters were talking about it months and months and months ago. We knew a lot more than what was actually getting said. The fans and supporters were knowing what was going on, I think, still. But yeah. So what's going on, Lucas? What's going on with that other fella? Is he on the way out too, do you think, at the end of the year?
The other fella played VFL 3 weeks ago, and he was supposed to get on a plane to Southport to play VFL, but when they called his name, he was a no-show.
So is he gone, Lucas? Is he gone?
No, a day later they found him at a nightclub getting absolutely hammered.
What was it called? The electricity nightclub, whatever it called.
Yeah. Supposed to be playing VFL, but went walkabouts to a nightclub and got absolutely hammered. Chris Scott has lost patience. To be fair to Chris Scott, I told Matt this. He said that well, we sympathise for the player. We're not a charity. Empathy only goes so far. So I think
is his paper stamped? Would you say is his paper stamped?
Yeah, I think he's gone. So and the problem is, unlike your player, you might get a second or third or fourth. We'll get nothing with this one because no one will pick him up. No one. It's sad, really, because we were the only one that gave him a lifeline. No one else did. He won a premiership with us. That's fantastic. We gave him a contract, and he's just wasted it. So that's the disappointing thing. He had the world on his feet, and he's gone like this. And he's probably, when he gets cut, no one's going to take him, and that's going to be the end of his career. So sad situation.
Hey Lucas, can I ask you a question? Was he like this at his other club? Did they say?
The Adelaide, he had a drug problem with the Adelaide Crows. Yeah,
he got arrested at Adelaide for drugs and alcohol.
Apparently.
What?
Yeah.
Well, that's the question I was going to ask. Why did Geelong take him then? If they knew this about him, then.
Oh yeah, so he played. He played for the VFL. It's not the VFL, the Sandful.
Yeah.
Played in a grand final winning team. Geelong needed a small forward at the time, and they thought, you know what, this guy seems to have turned it around. We'll take a risk, and yeah, he won. And to be fair to him, he was doing pretty good. He won.
He got All Australian, didn't he?
Yeah, he won All Australian. Then he won the premiership. So to be fair, he was well. Even like 2 years ago. He was doing well. It's just the last 12 months so that he's gone absolutely walkabout, and he's fucked the team a bit, and he's no signs of coming back. And when he has came back, he's gone walkabout again and gone missing and found at nightclubs the next day. Just a sad situation.
Well, it's getting to the pointy end of the season, so I'll both be at training probably soon, thinking I can play finals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, kick rocks, mate. Yeah, right.
Well, Joshy, did you hear the news that I'll just say his name. I'll just say his name one time. Did you hear the news Bobby might be going to Port Adelaide?
Yeah, that was like a while ago.
Did you hear that too, Daz?
Port Adelaide, it was originally West Coast, but I think they've gone quiet on him. But they might still be trying to get him because his family's over there, obviously. I think his partner's over there in Western Australia. But Port Adelaide have just got this, I think people are linking him to Port Adelaide because they've got an Indigenous program over there. I think they've created an Indigenous program, which is for Indigenous footballers who, they try to work with those sorts of guys more, I suppose, specifically. And I think, and they've had probably more Indigenous footballers play for Port Adelaide probably in the last decade at least. And they've turned a few other guys around over probably not as many issues as him, but they've got this belief that that they can they can actually get an Indigenous player over there if he's got any family issues and things like that he can probably sort them out, because they've got sort of a lot of people that I suppose are sort of all connected in a way. But originally I heard West Coast, mainly because he's not going to go to Freo because I don't think they need him anyway. I don't think they'd take him. West Coast, they might still get him. He's only really worth a late second or early third, I reckon. You're not going to give anything else up for him. Just, as I said, for the same reasons, because of his now current history, his last 18 months in particular, where he's just been so unreliable. We know that, what he did in 23 with us was very good, and in the grand final, obviously, kicking the 4 goals. But, yeah, again, it's a fine line as to whether you can get these guys playing as good a football as that ever again when they go off the rails. And he's probably got age on his side, but a bit like that other guy that played for the Cats, or currently playing for the Cats or with the Cats, that, there's only a few you only get a few chances. Like after this time, that guy that's playing for your team, Lucas, is probably done and dusted, I would have thought. I don't think any other club's going to take him. So once it doesn't matter what you do, 2 or 3 years beforehand, clubs will just tread very carefully, and they'll probably choose to, bypass them next time. Now, Bobby Hill gets another chance. I have no doubt he'll probably be playing next year, I suspect, with somebody, but that would probably be his last chance. Again, with, the same reasons, the same repercussions. Don't care whether he's 24, 25 and still got maybe 7 or 8 years of football ahead of him, and he's got the talent, got the potential, got the past good history of playing well in big games, but, you don't want to have, and that's why I think, same scenario with Hugo Hagen as well. I wouldn't even put him in the same category as a Bobby Hill anyway. I'd probably rate Bobby Hill. Oh, I said the name. Sorry. I shouldn't have said it. Sorry. I've got sucked in. Anyway, that bloke that plays number 23 for Collingwood, I would rate the guy that played in our grand final that wore number 23 in aspect. I suspect that he's a far more talented footballer than a Hugo Hagen, and probably a far better player than your player, Lucas, that plays for Geelong as well. But again, you get one, and some with talent would get more than one chance. But you don't. If you crash the car more than once, that's it. And I really feel, particularly if it's over a short period of time. So I tend to think that if Hugo Hagen stuffs up anymore, he's gone. He's done and dusted. I mean, the Bulldogs are just great. Happy to get rid of him. At the end of the day, I mean, he was doing nothing anyway for nearly 12 months. And he wanted out anyway, but they were happy to get him out. I mean, and personally, sometimes it's a good thing for that to happen. Just bite the bullet and do it. Because they can be an actual, and I really believe this, they can be a bit of a bad influence and a bad aroma and sort of like a disruption to everyone else around the club and the team. You don't want anyone around that club that's doing those sorts of things. And if I was a young parent, having a young footballer that was going to a club like that for the first time, like an 18-year-old getting drafted, and you've got a person like that at your football club, I would be worried. As a parent, I would be worried that my son would be sort of like in amongst that type of person at your football club, at that football club. Just in the back 100%. Of my mind, I wouldn't do anything about it, but just in the back of my mind as a parent, you would be concerned that you don't want to be, you don't want your son to be led astray by somebody like that.
Yeah, well, with number 23, I think he'll get another chance because it's not drug related like the Geelong one. It's more family mattered. So yeah, he'll play next year for sure. But yeah, with our one, no, because it's drug related and whatnot. No chance. He won't get a chance again. Yeah, with number 23, he'll get another chance because it's a family issue, and not a drug one.
I was going to say, tongue in cheek, Lucas, it's not going to happen. But Geelong have got this history of getting these players from other clubs. But now that you've had your issues with that particular player at your football club, there's no way in the world the Cats would even speak to number 23, would they? They're not going to do that, are they?
I wouldn't take him if I was you.
Nah.
Shush, Chris.
Nah. You've learnt your
We need
lesson.
that money off the books.
I don't want Lucas to have, I like Lucas. I
We
don't
need
like
that
other
money
Geelong
off the
supporters,
books
but
to
I
get
like
Neil.
Lucas.
I think we got a better chance of getting Gary Ablett to play next season than number 23. That's for damn sure.
Well, the thing I was going to ask, Daz and Josh this question: could you package number 23 in a deal with Butters with other players from our club?
I wouldn't probably think so. To be honest, I think we'd have to actually probably give like a third rounder and number 23 to a team to actually someone take on his $700,000-$800,000 he's on. We're gonna have to give a draft pick and him, I reckon.
I want Butters. There's no doubt about it. Having Butters and Lockie Neal would be fantastic for Nick. It would, because you'd have Lockie Neal for the next two and a bit years, at least 2 years. And then when Neal retires or goes, and then you got Josh at 25, 26 years of age, then you got another guy, 27, 28, that can still do the job with him and so forth. So then you haven't got a further issue on top of. So you're not just getting Lockie Neal for a couple of years and then you're looking around again straight after that, because those 2 years will go pretty quickly. So I'm all for Lockie Neal coming to the club as long as his body can keep up scratch, and he's in great form this year, which is really exciting, and you hope that sort of form can continue if he does come to Collingwood. But what I'm looking, I suppose I tend to look forward a bit further than that as to what happens then after that when Nick is 20, 25, 26, probably captain hopefully, and he still will need another prime elite midfielder. How are we going to get that? Well, don't close the door on Zach Butters. Might be a bit of we might be third or fourth in line. What I can't understand with Zach Butters is the change in the news, the story in regards to Zach Butters. It just seems now that Richmond are offering him all this money, and they're all now almost overtaken the Bulldogs. And the only thing you're hearing from the Western Bulldogs is that he was a Bulldog supporter when he was younger. And that seems to be the emotional and the sentimental feel that you'll only choose Bulldogs for that reason. And their money is still reasonably good, but it doesn't come anywhere near what Richmond are prepared to offer Zach Butters. But then I look at Richmond. I mean, why would you go to Richmond? I mean, you look at them just yesterday in their game against Hawthorn. They were absolutely diabolical. They were atrocious, and they have been for most of this year. I mean, the only team that they really have pushed this year in both games is Carlton. And we know how bad Carlton have been this year, where, they should have actually beaten Carlton in both those games if it wasn't for Lidge spraying the ball around everywhere in those games. But you look at everything else. I look at Richmond, and they're still 4 years away from doing something, in my opinion. These kids that they've got, they might be talented, but they're still 4 or 5 years away, in my opinion. And so why would Zach Butters choose? I know they say I'll play in front of big crowds, but as we all know, with Richmond supporters, they taper off when they don't win games. They're not like Collingwood supporters. They taper off. Their supporters do not rock up. you might still get 40,000 or 45,000 to a game at the MCG for a game. And yeah, you'll get your big games, like you'll get your Indigenous round where they have the game against Essendon and so forth, where they get 90,000 for that
And the
type of
game against
game.
us.
Yeah, and you'll get 65, 70, mainly Collingwood supporters, though, to games like us. Well, we'll fill it up, actually. So we get 80 to that, and it'll be like 50, 60,000 Collingwood supporters, basically. But if Richmond are down the bottom, there's going to be a lot of, I know mates that are Richmond supporters, and like they've only been probably to 50% of the games at the G this year, and they don't travel anywhere with them. They were doing it all when they were winning those premierships, but that's years ago now. That's like 2017 and all that. But different era,
Years
all
ago,
the players that they had back then. But this is a young list they've got now, and Unuze's not going to be their coach. I guarantee you, he's probably got another year to go next year, Adam Uze.
He's gone next year.
They'll be looking for another coach at the end of next year. So if they finish bottom 2, bottom 3 again next year, I guarantee Richmond are looking for another coach next year. So why would Butters go there, not knowing who's going to be their next coach? And
They're
you've got
actually
these
below.
young lists. Yeah, and all this. Who's going to be working? Who's going to be helping Zach Butters out? We talk about Mick and what he has to do at Collingwood. Put the team on his shoulders. How's Zach Butters going to achieve that with that young list? I can't understand it, but apparently the journos seem to think, and all the Cal Toomeys and all of that, and I respect Cal Toomey, he's one of the better journos, but he seems to be driving this thing that that Richmond are prepared to offer, a boat, God knows, a bloody $2 million house and all this sort of stuff, and all the money on top of that for Zach Butters. For what? He might as well stay at Port Adelaide.
Butters seems
Really?
to be like he's a guy that wants to like winning. He doesn't like losing, so he wouldn't want to go to a team like Richmond.
Well, the question I was going to ask Lucas, do you think Geelong can get him?
Yeah, of course, we can get him. Yeah. We don't have the... See, we have what Port might want. They want ready-made players. We've got Stevens. We've got Inevitt. We've got a lot of players in our VFL. Hell, we've even got Warpaw if they want him. So as far as draft capital is, no, but we have ready-made players that have played for us this year. So including we've got someone like Close, who's a South Australian. He's a premiership player. We could add him to a trade.
Would you give up Polkinghorne?
No. I'm not. No. I think Polkinghorne. I think he's our next. He's our next Cameron.
Would you give up Cameron and Dangerfield?
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Danger. What do you call him? Danger.
Dangerfield.
What's his?
Dangerfield.
Dangerfield.
I'd trade Dangerfield for I'd trade Dangerfield for a bag of chips.
I've got a good deal for Geelong and Lucas. Think about this seriously. Think about this really seriously. You can have our number 23.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll have Polkinghorne. There.
I'll take that. I'll take that, Lucas. I'll take that every day of the week.
You have number 23, a star who's won a Norm Smith medalist and is only 26, got another 6-7 years of football. Exciting footballer, young, and actually a small forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Electric, and Geelong fans will love that. And we'll have young Polkinghorne. We'll have Polkinghorne. Yeah.
Well, come on, Lucas, handshake it. We'll take the handshake now and make it happen.
You've already got your Cameron down there in West. You just got to play him.
No, but Polkinghorne and Westy alongside of each other.
And you can have number 23. You can have number 23.
Come on, Lucas.
Let's make the deal. Let's make the deal, Lucas. Let's make it happen now.
That's a good deal. You got to
take the deal.
Player.
I don't think number 23 likes farms. I don't think he liked the farm.
And Lucas, we'll give you some draft. We'll give you a second rounder for him too. And you can spoke.
You can have
Lipinski. Yeah,
you can have Lipinski.
Yep.
You can have Lipinski.
Houston.
And Ned Long, there.
And Houston.
So James Flogg's going to retire. So there goes Ned Long. You can go in and replace him in the midfield.
Yep.
Lipinski, for anyone that wants to play around the wing that can get cheap kicks, he won't be sighted on the GMBH Stadium there. I mean, with the lighting, you play a lot of night games there. Liverpool will love that,
And you can take Houston too. You can take Houston too.
I wouldn't mind that inside. I wouldn't mind that inside mid to Gorry. I'll take
you can have Sidey and Pendlebury.
No, I reckon you should seriously think about that. Number 23,
I think so.
And Norm Smith's Norm Smith medalist guy, which is the other guy that you have there is run out of chances. So let's get a younger guy in, who's actually won a Norm Smith medalist, who, let's face it, would excite your fans down there at the stadium. And, he's electric, so you're not losing anything there.
And you always say, Lucas, you always say Juan can turn players around. You can turn him around.
Yeah. Close one book, open another. Why not?
What?
Why not?
You had that. Think about it, Lucas. You took that one from Adelaide. Now you can take the one from us.
Yeah.
Take that salary so we can give it to Lockie Neal.
Yeah. Lucas, we'll give you Lipinski, Houston, number 23, and some draft picks. There you go.
I'll throw in Darcy Moore as well for a bit of leadership. There you go.
And we'll throw on side bottom and Pendlebury too.
Seen that, you got Reece Stanley, and your oldies are starting to get a bit longer tooth. Well, Darcy's only 30. He's not that old. And he's played in a premiership team.
I don't think Pendlebury would know where GMHBA is. He's
he would. No, yes, he would. He would know where it is. He can look it up on his phone.
He's never played
He's
there.
seriously thinking about it.
He's played a preseason game there.
Have a think about it, Lucas. Come back to us later in the week.
Yeah.
It's a good deal, mate. It's a good deal.
I think so too, Lucas. I think it's a great deal.
A win-win. Win-win.
Yes.
Yeah. We've given you quite a few guys there, and we only want walking on.
We don't want anyone else. We don't want anyone else. We don't want anyone else. We just want Bulky on.
I'll get back to you on that one. I'll get back to you on that
one. It's there. Look, we've mapped it all out for you, mate. There's iron out all your issues.
Yeah, it's one of those where don't call me, I'll call you.
I was going to ask
ready-made footballers, mate. You can't do much better than that. They're ready-made.
I was going to ask Joshy, how do you think we can get Butters? What do you think we would have to give Port?
Well, I said this yesterday in the chat. Try and get him as a free agent. So Port get pick 5, and Port give us some guy what's useless, and we give him a first rounder for that. So that's a good win for Port out of the way. Why hasn't the club thought of doing something like that?
Well, that's what I was thinking. But the thing is, Port want this Dougie Colquhoun because Lucas said he's didn't you say he's that good? They want him bad.
Yeah, they want to try to draft him. Yeah, he's been training with the club, father and son. Yeah, he trains at the club, so they want him.
And they don't want players. They just want picks.
No, they don't mind players, but they want ready now players. They don't want players they're just going to put in their sample team. They want players that they'll go round 1 2027, and they see Cochrane as that player.
I'll ask you a question, Lucas. From Collingwood, who would they take ready from us?
Would
they take Barry McCreary?
They might, yes.
All right, I'll name some players. You tell me yes or no. Barry McCreary?
Yeah, they might.
Number 23?
I actually don't think they'll take him, no.
Dan Houston, take him back.
No, they'd love to have him back. Maybe yes, but I don't think Houston would go there. But we'll say
Even
yes.
I don't want to give him up, I'll just mention him anyway. Charlie West,
Yes, they'll take him for sure. Yeah,
Darcy Moore,
absolutely. No.
Patrick Lipinski.
Seriously? We're
They
serious.
Still-
might. They might.
Still side
You're right, he's
bottom.
rated like number one in the competition.
Nah.
Still side bottom.
Force
No,
Lucas,
not him. No.
Scott Penderbury.
Well, they've got
Ned Long.
well, Port Adelaide have got a history of playing older players. You know, they did that with Boki, and they've got Ollie Wines down there. Pendlebury might be a maybe.
Ned Long.
Ned Long was the
Yeah,
other one. He's only 23.
Angry
Yeah, they might
Anderson.
take him. Yeah, they'll probably take him.
Need a bit more
I think
midfield,
the-
don't they? Midfield strength.
Yeah,
Even though I don't want to
the-
give him up, I'll just mention him
Right, right.
anyway.
Not a
Gus
forward,
Anderson.
Yeah, they might take him. I think if you wanted to play a deal, I think they'd want McCreary, West,
Mm.
and Atkinson from that. Yeah, I think they'd be happy
Would they
with
take
that.
any of our players that are in the VFL that we're trying to get rid of? Like Jacob
No.
Bryan.
Nah, because they're not playing AFL. No.
I honestly think, why wasn't the club just do a free agency deal where they accept it and Port Adelaide gives someone like a Jacob Ware a first rounder for, so they get their pick 5 and a future first for Butters. Like, do dirty deal rigging it. Port won't ever get anything more than a pick 5 and a first rounder this way.
And
Paid
didn't I
way
hear
less for
that
some
Port were
guy.
going to lose Georgiades to West Coast?
No, he's re-signed apparently.
Oh, because
Till
I heard
20
West Coast were annoying.
Re-signed for 2030, I think. So he's going to have
There
4
was a
years
lot
to
of
go.
talk on that, but
He
George
was,
Howdy's
but he's
retired.
West Australian. I think the West Coast were trying to get him. West Coast Eagles were trying to get him because he's from WA. But no, I think Port I'm pretty sure Port, from what I've heard,
But-
Port have signed him up again. What was I going to say? Lucas, come on, let's not stuff around here, mate. Just get out more with your brown paper bags. Come on, get them out. Come on, get them
Yeah, find
out.
some more.
We'll do a
Bums.
deal. We don't use brown paper bags at Collingwood, but if you're really, really desperate and you really, really want something to happen, and we can just throw a little bit of extra, do re mi, put it in there for your old brown paper bag, and all you're getting, you're getting all our wonderful current day players, ready-made footballers, some of which have played in our recent premiership. And all we want is that young fella that we saw the other night that played in your forward line, Polkinghorne. We just want him. We're not asking for the world. Get the brown paper bags out. The AFL don't give a shit about Geelong. They can get away with anything. So, I mean,
They haven't cottoned on to what they do.
I'll ask you a
they
question,
turn a
Lucas.
blind eye every
yeah.
time Geelong do. Bailey Smith, that was all be under the bloody, a lot of brown paper bags there. Cotton on had nothing to do with bloody cotton on. It was brown paper
Lucas,
bags.
let me ask you this. Out of all those players, who would you take for Polkinghorne?
We'd take. I'd probably take West
Charlie
because he's a
West.
light.
Okay, there you
Danger.
go. We've made the deal. We'll make the deal happen. We'll get Polkinghorne's there, and then you can have him. See us. We've got Polkinghorne now.
You're harsh on your players, though, Lucas. All
I
right,
agree with that.
Calling,
I've heard you on the
Paulie,
live stream. You're very
calling
harsh.
that man danger. Oh, honestly, that is shocking.
Yes, and
Calling
he's won
that
you a
man-
premiership too.
He's your
Yeah,
captain. He's
that's
I know.
disgraceful.
I've
He's a
heard you on
Brownlow
those
medal.
live stream. You get angry at Danger. You call him Danger Folk. You get
You
angry at
blame him every
Cameron.
time they lose.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. You give us the goer, you can have Polkinghorne.
No. It'll go. Well, I'll make this is the final deal. You get Patrick Lipinski. You get Steel Sidebottom, Scott Penderbury, and that's it. And Darcy Moore.
Oh, gee. How can we refuse that?
No, but
Yeah,
Lucas, like
sometimes I'm hard
like
on
we
my
were
players.
saying in your watch-alongs, you get very angry with your players. You take it out
Yeah,
on
I-
Dangerfield. You take it out on Dangerfield. You take it out on Cameron.
Yeah, I get a bit angry with my players at times when they do stupid stuff. Yeah.
Oh
Shannon
yeah,
Neal.
I've seen your watch-alongs. I've seen your watch-alongs. Oh, that's that danger flog. I fucking hate that danger flog.
Oh, I'll tell you what
That
you can
Shannon
have.
Neal is useless.
I'll
That's
tell you who you
disgraceful.
can have. You can have that
What?
Shannon Neal.
He
No, we
was
don't
all
want
right.
him.
to play the game.
Yeah,
He's okay.
no, I'll take Dempsey.
Yeah, but you stuffed him up, mate. What have you done
I'll
to
take
him?
Dempsey. I'll take Dempsey.
No, Dempsey's untouchable for us.
No, there is no any untouchable players. We are taking Dempsey and Polkinghorn.
Dempsey, you want Dempsey, you got to give us day costs for that.
It's purge
You're not
day,
getting Nick
Lucas.
Dacos. You're not getting Nick Dacos. We're taking Dempsey and Polkinghorn. You can take Lipinski, Stybottom, and Pendlebury, and Darcy Moore and Houston. And Houston.
I don't think they'd want to come to our club.
No, they would. They would. They would think Geelong's better. They can live in the countryside.
Wow. Geelong ground suits Houston. He does have to run hard, kick it big long up the corridor. Suits him
Yeah.
magically.
And then we can see how you like him in the watch-alongs. I can picture this now. I can picture this now. Oh, that fucking Darcy Moore, that fucking Lipinski, that fucking Houston. I hate it. Why did we get him? Why did they just go back to fucking Collingwood?
Lucas has just taken off his shirt again. Can't handle it. You get the hot under the collar. The only
And now he's
point
just got the scarf on. And now he's just got the scarf and the wizard hat.
Yeah, the only person that does a live watch along without any clothes on. It's unbelievable. I was gonna
He's
ask-
practicing
I was gonna
for
ask
what he
you.
wants to earn money for.
All you
No,
need is the
that-
wizard. All you need is the wizard hat and your scarf.
Oh, the wizard hat, yeah.
Have you got glasses? Have you got glasses with the wizard hat?
Oh, yeah, okay. No, not yet. Not yet. I've got to get a wand and a bucket and brew my potions. Yeah.
Want you you're in Adelaide. You're probably going to the game, eh? Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me get this straight. Oh no, the game's in Melbourne. No, you can do it. When Geelong play Collingwood in a few couple of weeks, I want you to do a watch along. I want you to do that.
No, I'll do
Starkers,
that.
mate.
No, yeah. My co-host is going to the game. You can get into him. He's going to the game.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to ask you about Polkinghorn. Is he from Geelong Grammar? Where did he originate from? What's his history?
No, he's from South Australia.
Is he? So where
Yes.
did he come from in South Australia?
I think he came from Sturt, if I'm not
Is he?
mistaken.
Where did,
I thought
so,
some
so,
weird country town.
Yeah.
Starts with like a G.
oh, right. So
Do you know
was
what
he
that's
playing
came
in
to
the
my
state
head?
league over there?
You know what's came to my head? Port Adelaide might say to Geelong, we'll take Polking on for Butters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, might be, yeah. No.
Hey, what
No,
more
we
was
don't
that,
Geelong.
Chris?
He's going to have to think about that.
Yeah.
We've
No, he
given him a good
played-
deal.
Yeah, he played, yeah, young Polkinghorn played for Norwood. So,
All right.
Yeah.
But was he playing state league over there or playing in the junior, like playing underage?
No, I think
did he
no,
reach
he
the
was
top level?
he was playing Sandford. He was playing Sandford for Norwood.
Yeah, but in the younger age, talent.
yeah, he
Talent.
was playing in the
or
he was
or
playing in the reserves.
top level.
He was playing in the reserves.
Okay. So you got him.
Yeah.
What did you get him last draft? Did you? Like last
Correct,
November.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And what pick was he? Remember?
Oh, I think he was one of those second rounders.
Okay. Like What?
So
Late
yeah,
20s,
again, I
early
think it can
30s
happen.
or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Yes. No, I think a little bit
Okay.
later than that, but yeah,
Okay. Right. Be closer to 40, something like that.
something like that. Yeah, yep.
Okay. Right. Okay. Because I've never heard of him. And not that I know anyway, I'm not going to hear every single, because quite frank, I listened to the draft, the so-called draft people on, to do their expectations on predictions on what might happen, like the Kaltumis and all of that. And I don't think I even heard his name get mentioned. Not that I mean, did he get mentioned much? Do you remember, Lucas? Were people saying he was going to get picked up?
No, yeah, that was one that just flew under the radar a little bit, actually. So he's actually, he got drafted. He didn't actually get drafted last year. He got drafted in 2024.
Pick 44.
Yeah, so
44.
yeah,
Okay.
so late,
Oh, gee,
yeah,
that's
so late pick, yeah. So
reasonable then.
and then so he's been in the team for a while, but it's this year in the VFL where he's had the breakout season. And he's been very good. So he's been kicking 2-3 goals a game.
So in the reserves, he's been kicking goals for Geelong's reserves, obviously.
Yes, correct.
And because I know that you mentioned him a few weeks ago. I remember you talking to us about and say you'd like to see this guy get in the team, in the seniors and so forth. So I know that you were watching him fairly closely, and obviously he was playing and performing pretty well. Geelong are top two anyway, aren't they, in the VFL reserves? So, they must have a pretty reasonable team.
He's scouted as not the next Cameron, but he plays like Cameron, so he gets a lot of disposals. He pushes up to the wing.
Yeah. He reminded me of the Cameron, but a younger version. Yeah, a younger version. I was just sort of trying to work my head around this because when I saw him the other night, watched a bit of the game, and I thought, this guy's a good player and all of that. He's good grab, can clunk a mark, kick. He's got a good kicking action as well, which is what I like. No difficulty there with his straight leg kicking action. He can kick it from 50. And he's young. A long way to go, yeah. I mean, we've only seen one game basically at AFL. But I'm sort of
he's
thinking,
going to play the rest of the year. Yeah.
You immediately think, if it's your club, like I'm thinking Collingwood, wouldn't he be good in Collingwood? Think if he could do that, wouldn't that be beneficial for us to have a young fella like that? And if he could be half as good as Jeremy Cameron, I would still take it. I'm not expecting him to be anywhere near as good as Jeremy Cameron, but if he was even half as good as Jeremy Cameron, he would be a great fit for Collingwood, because that's our major issue. Well, will be our major issue. It has been our major issue up in the forward line, to have a young guy like that and have somebody for the future. You wouldn't need to be talking about, keeping Charlie West or anything like that. You could have Charlie playing centre half forward or across half forward and having Polkinghorne at full forward. And if McStay goes for another year, so be it. Remember, he goes for another year, so be it. Then you might have to make a decision on people like Puller, make a decision on Podjowski and people like that. But then you know that you've got something there, up your sleeve in regards to young talent and so forth. And then you may not even need to worry about thinking about getting a Mitch Lewis or someone like that, because you've got someone half decent already, that if he's half as good as a Jeremy Cameron, I think most clubs would sort of say, give me him. I mean, if he's going to kick 50 goals and he might take 3 or 4 years before he can start doing that. But if he's going to be a 50 goal forward, I mean, that's a tick for your football club.
Yeah, and it's really a force change. If Cameron was still fit, he wouldn't be playing. So Chris Scott is forced to play him because Cameron's out for the year. So Polkinghorne, he'll get the rest of the year now. But his first game, if you look at him, you think, geez, he's already played 50 games the way he went out, where he led into space. The most thing that caught my eye was the contested positioning work on Wilkie. Outbodied him, took a fantastic contested mark, and you thought, geez, this guy's must have played 50, 100 games. And that's the most really pleasing thing. So he'll get the whole year now. Plus
Is there a reason why he didn't
fines.
play? Is there a reason he didn't play against GWS when Jeremy Cameron played defence?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't play in that game. No.
Why wouldn't you he played if Jeremy Cameron played defence?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. But no, because Cameron's out, Scott was forced to play his VFL kids, and Polkinghorne is the next one that plays that high wing forward positioning. And geez, he did that well, yeah.
That's the question I was going to ask you about Jezza. Do you think he's coming back?
No, I don't think he'll come back. I think they'll wrap him up in cotton wool. They'd be stupid if they brought him back
for finals.
That's what I was
Maybe
thinking.
finals.
That's what I was thinking.
But he's still going to have the same pain with his shoulder.
Why haven't they just put him surgery for that shoulder? What he did last year?
Well, they're still. Well, that's because but so if he comes back, he's still going to have nerve pain. He's still going to have that problem.
Yeah, because he's not getting the operation done for that now too.
No, he's not. No, it's just for the collarbone. That's a 6-7 weeker.
I'm sort of thinking 2 weeks' time when we're playing your mob, the Cats at the G. Who if Polkinghorne? So we were sort of thinking when we heard about Jerry. We don't wish this upon anybody, a bad injury or anything like that, but it does sort, help us a little bit. No Jeremy Cameron in the Geelong team when we play him. But then we see a Polkinghorne and all of that, and he's sort of like, you're right, he's not afraid of coming down the field a bit to get his possessions, clunk a few marks, kick a few goals. I'm sort of thinking, I wonder who we are intending or going to be lining up on him. Is it going to be a Frampton, Jeremy Howe, or will they stick a young gun like Puncher on him? It's going to be an interesting little sort of like discussion point when that match comes up, matchups and so forth, because he does play a little bit like Jeremy Cameron, but he's a little bit
He's way
unknown
stronger
still.
than Cameron.
Yeah. And
no
he's
worries,
probably
Matt.
not
Anytime, mate. You're welcome to come anytime, Matt. Thanks for coming on. He's going to bed now.
Oh, good night, mate. So Jeremy Cameron, we often see him run down to the wings and half back even, but yet to see whether Polkinghorne will do that. I think he's more of a forward that will come down to the flanks mainly or past 50. And a lot will depend on whether Cameron is playing or not, whether they play both of them in the same team if that eventuates. But I'm sort of thinking, it's going to be an interesting matchup if we've got him in the team. Never underestimate somebody young like that. We know all about that, don't we, Pies supporters? Yep. Because we've had, Patrick Voss last year in the final series, and we've had Logan Morris as well. So we know all about these young talents that can suddenly step up come finals time when they're only young. And they've done a job on us in big games before, like some of these forwards. And,
even that Lewis guy for Bulldogs kicked 3 goals against us like this year. All these unknown players kick goals against us.
So never underestimate them, and don't think just because they're only young, like 18 or 19 or whatever, and got a very few AFL games, that they're not going to turn it on because, as we've seen already with those other couple of guys, and there's probably more than a few, that they can announce themselves on the big stage in finals and, cause troubles. And, so it's, that's something for the fly and something for the coaches to think about, because we might be looking at a young fellow like that somebody will get the job on. And I'm not saying that that's going to be the be and end all, but he's got the goods by the looks of him. Mind you, that was on your turf down there, territory. he's got to do it on the bigger venues, the MCG and things like that, bigger crowds as well. So
And
it can, might take a bit of time for some, but yeah, I will give a bit of credit to the guy. He looked pretty good. Whether the opposition was up, quite up to it, I don't know. St Kilda, yeah, I wouldn't say that would be great opposition anyway, but he said, I've got to give him credit for the job that he did in that game.
Another boost for you. We've lost Max Holmes for the year, so he won't be playing next week.
Yeah. Well, people said was he all Australian possibility early in the year?
Before he moved to halfback, he was. Yeah, he's a top 10 midfielder. We moved him to halfback, and he's been a bit of a disaster. He turns the ball over too much. He gets a lot of it. He gets his 35. But at halfback, he's a bit of a liability with his kicking.
Yeah,
but
he had a good year last year, though, didn't he?
Yeah, so because I think Bailey Smith wants that midfield by himself, we've moved Bailey Smith back. So Max Holmes back. So now that he's injured, we have to find another spot for that half back role. So and we haven't got many options anyway.
Yeah, I said it a few weeks ago to you, Lucas, too. 3 or 4. I asked you the question, and you said I don't think it'll happen, but I still think Geelong will do this. They're going to try and they're going to go after Rowan Marshall again, the Saints ruckman. So he wants to go to Geelong. Apparently, there's another one. Wanted to go last year, didn't get there, but apparently still not particularly happy at the Saints. So there's another opportunity.
We were into him per se, but the St Kilda wanted DeConey.
Yeah, but he's pissed off because DeConey's now sort of like getting more game time and pretty much taken his role, taken his spot. And that's probably why he wanted to leave anyway, because he could foresee what was going to happen. And I'm listening to some of the chats on the footy shows and things like that. And like Ryan Marshall's only getting 60% game time. He's not really seen as to be, he wants to play in ruck and he wants to be that number one ruckman and he's just not getting it. They went all in for DeConey and, they feel that DeConey is sort of like a ruckman forward type of thing. And Ross is such a stubborn coach. And, Ross turned around and he said the other week when this topic came up, he says, no, Rowan's part of our team and part of our system and things like that. Again, player, when a player gets, you can normally pretty much tell through who you get in replacements or who you get as recruits. If somebody's in a role and then you get somebody that pretty much is exactly the same or does play the similar type of position or role, why wouldn't you get a bit frustrated? Hang on, I'm doing that type of thing. Why are you getting this guy? And look, I personally, you want my view on Tom DeConey? I think he's about a 6 out of 10. He's not an A grader. He's not a top. He's not going to win you. He's not going to win you too many matches, and he hasn't done so in the time that he's been at the Saints. Anyway, I know he's had a bit of an injury here and there as well. But even at Carlton, he's not going to. To me, he's not going to be much different at the Saints to what he was at Carlton.
The only one that they've got, so for Flanders, like he's from they got him from the Gold Coast. He's injured, so that's a bust. Silvani's looked good. That's the only one. Silvani's looked actually good, to be fair. But
Ryan's not too bad.
Yeah, no, that's all right. But DeConey when he's played, I think he's been horrible. Especially there was a game against Port Adelaide where he just didn't look interest playing forward. Flanders is out for the year. He's been out for the year for weeks now, so that's been a bust. So all these big money players that they haven't done well with. Big money for Nas. I don't think Nas has had the best year, to be fair. I could be wrong here, but I don't think he's had the best year compared to last year.
I think you're right.
So-
and I think he's got one more year to go. So, I mean, they're going to have to swoop a deal in there for him again to keep him again after next year, 2027. He only signed on for 2 years. So next year, that's again at the end, they're back at crossroads again, What are they going to do? Because I guarantee there's going to be clubs after Nas. Port Adelaide wanted him, and I don't be surprised if the Crows, I mean, he's got ties with both Adelaide and Port Adelaide, obviously, with
Doesn't his cousin
Wanganeen, Gavin Wanganeen is related to Gavin Wanganeen, played over there for Port, and he's also a cousin or second cousin to Wayne Miller, who played for the Crows over there at junior. So he's also related to them family-wise, relative-wise. So he's got cousins or second cousins in relation to both Port Adelaide and Adelaide. And I know Port Adelaide really, really wanted him. And they thought they were going to get him. But then the Saints upped a little bit in regards to money. But he wouldn't sign any more than 2 years. It was actually, from what I heard, the Saints were prepared to give him an extra year or two, 3 or 4. But no, he didn't want any more, deal other than the 2 years, and happy with the amount of money that he was going to get, because he was going to weigh it all up again after 2027, which is actually next year. So, so far it's gone almost 12 months. So they're going to be faced with the same. We're going to have this whole contract situation and deal, and the talking point is going to be over. So this year it'll be Zach Merritt, obviously, and Zach Butters. But come 12 months' time, roughly, it'll be about Naz again. It'll be about Naz and whether the Saints can keep him. I don't think he'll stay beyond next year.
Same.
Yeah, and if he was going to leave, I think the indication was he was going to join Port Adelaide. But as you said, yes, St Kilda ramped the offer up, and he stayed. Chris has gone to bed as well. I'm going to probably wrap this up as well.
Chris. Yeah, wrap it up, mate.
Same. I'm going to go to bed.
It's 3:30 in the morning, so I'm guessing it's 4 a.m. where you guys are. So
I've made everyone go to sleep tonight.
Shit. Well, at least I haven't fell asleep like the last stream.
Good night.
So that's good. But no,
if you want to wrap it up, Lucas, I'm ready to go.
Do that. Yeah, I think thanks for coming on, though, guys. I really appreciate it. Daz,
it's been great.
I missed you last time, Daz, because you were gonna come on, and I said I was about to go to bed, so I thought, no, I'll get you on this time.
That's all right, mate. You upset me that night. No, that's okay. I got home. I think I got home from work and just happened to pop the phone on, and then you're doing a streaming. I didn't bother to look how long when you first got going, like the starting time. I just looked. You're streaming. I thought it might have been a late night type of thing, and I think when I jumped on, it was closer to 2:00, pretty late. And I thought, no, it's silly. Obviously, you're on for a number of hours.
Yeah, I had Rocco on that night, so
beautiful.
And
Rocco,
Mick
the Carlton supporter.
Yes, correct. Yeah, I thought actually Mick would come on today. He said he was going to come on if he had any breaks, but no, he didn't come on. That's all right. Maybe he didn't get a break. But no, Daz, thanks for coming up.
That's all right, mate.
Streams, you run the program. You guys run the show. I'm happy to sit back and chip in whenever I can. But thank you for coming, Daz. I really do appreciate it, mate.
No problems, mate. And look, it's all tongue in cheek with me in regards to what I say about your team and Geelong and all of that. A little bit of it's just a bit of fun. That's all it is. So I respect Geelong. I've told you this before. I respect them because they've always been, they've always put themselves in a position where they contest. And I know that you get frustrated with the fact that you feel that you should have won more of those prelims and got into grand finals and maybe won a few more premierships. the 2011 grand final will still sit with me as one of the most disappointing days of my life, obviously. But still, it is what it is and all of that. So I hold no grudges and so forth. But yeah, all good fun. No worries. Thank you very much for inviting us on, including myself. It's been good fun, good talking. I hope I didn't bore everybody earlier with all the shit I was talking about.
Didn't bother
I do
me.
go off on a bit of a rant sometimes, try to condense it all in. If I haven't been on for a while, sometimes I try and get it all in and get it all, release it all sometimes on a stream like that. As long as it's not too, boring. We've sort of covered a few areas, and it's been Collingwood and Geelong mainly. So it's not like we've gone completely off topics completely.
No, and you can have your rants. You can have your rants because you stay on for longer. So that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, and you know how we operate on the other shows that you come on Mick's show and the Warble and all of that. We do pretty much the same thing, and we allow you to come on, and that's great. We like hearing from people like you too because it gives another perspective, and that's great. We like to know that, and by all means, if people like myself think you go a bit too far in regards to we're a bit too harsh. We're pretty harsh sometimes on some of our players and team and coach sometimes and all of that, but it's all pretty, we're all passionate people like you are, obviously, but you get different types of supporters. You get your supporters that, are a little bit more easygoing. And then you get, people like us that sort of pick things up and like to mention them and bring them up in topics and discuss them, put a bit of heat on a few people. Nothing wrong with that as long as you're respectful. That's all that matters. So cool. And that's fine. I'll let you go. Thank you very much. Enjoy it. Enjoy your week, and we look forward to what will be happening with the Cats and the Pies in a couple of weeks' time. We've got to get over Adelaide first, but I mean that we hope that we can beat Adelaide and then hopefully beat the Cats. But if we don't beat Adelaide, it becomes even more important for us to knock you guys off the week after. So, anyway, we'll talk about that down the track. Thank you very much, Lucas. Enjoy your week.
No worries, Daz. I'll try to enjoy my week. But likewise here, we've got a big game against Melbourne. If we can't beat Melbourne, then that Collingwood game is absolutely massive. We'll worry about Melbourne first before we get there. So no worries, mate. Appreciate it.
So we just want to finish top 8. Yeah, I'm not really keen on the wild card. Collingwood, I just want us to finish top 8. I don't know whether we'll finish top 6, but it's looking 50-50 at the moment. But we want to finish top 8. No doubt you guys want to finish top 4. And I think a lot will probably. Yeah, I mean the rule is I think if you look at our next 2 or 3 games, your next 2 or 3 games, we can both achieve that, the things that we are hoping to get. But you need to get on a bit of a roll and string a few games and a few wins together. We've got a very tough run home, and I'm not looking forward to the last few after Adelaide because they're tough. But if we want to make it and want to be part of finals, we've got to, and we've yet to beat anyone inside the top 8 or above us. So the test is about to happen with us, and starting with Thursday night against the Crows. Anyway, good night, Lucas. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for having us on, and we will speak soon.
No worries, Daz. As I said, anytime you're welcome on my show, anytime, mate. Thank you so much.
Good night. Cheers. See you, mate. Thank you.
No, and that is the end of the stream. There's 6 people watching. I really do appreciate it. Staying up with us all this time. Just before we head off, Rishi has said hello, Lucas. Thank you. Hello, Rishi. I'm doing good, mate. Tired. I'm about to wrap up, Rishi. But I hope you're doing good as well. Stefano says, night does. But this is what this program is all about. You drive the show, the late night stream with Coach Lucas and friends. It's all about the people that join the stream on this show. Hence why it's called You Drive the Show. You make the topics. You decide where we want to go. And if we want to talk 4 hours, 5 hours about Collingwood, or 4 hours, 5 hours about St Kilda residents, anything you want, you make up the topic and we'll go by it. As long as you are on the stream, we will keep going. And as time has gone, we've lost a few people, but that's all right. Even I get tired sometimes, and it is now 3:30 a.m. So I'd like to thank everyone that has came on the stream. Night Stefanos, and Josh. Josh doesn't really come on much, but I think that was Josh's first time on my show, coming on at least. But no, thank you everyone that came on. Do appreciate it. When I first started these late night streams, I didn't know I'd get anybody. But it's been really successful, really, really successful. Can you make an exception on the AFL? I want to watch new sports, mate. You just keep following this channel, mate. We'll get you involved with some clubs, mate. No worries at all there, Rishi. Very good sport to watch. Very good sport. But yes, thank you all for watching. The 6 people that have stayed up watching, listening to us. I hope you haven't fell asleep. Don't blame me if you do. Thanks for watching. Watch out for the Monday Funday show. So we're back again. Me and my host Kyri is back out tonight at 7:30 Melbourne time, 7 o'clock Adelaide time, for our Monday Funday sports show. So we cover all sports, not just AFL. We cover NRL, cricket, MotoGP, F1 if it's on this week, boxing, UFC, whatever it is on. It's more of a sports show than an AFL show. We will recap all the 9 games that I've played, but it's more a sports show. So stay tuned for that one tonight. And then Scratch the Surface tipping show, just a 10-minute tipping show. I think I'll be doing it this week. And then the watch along. That is on a Friday. I would have hosted a late night stream, but the watch along is on Friday. Finally, we're not playing on a Thursday night, which is outstanding. I hate fucking Thursday night football. No, I'll rephrase that. I love Thursday night football. I just don't like it when our team plays on Thursday nights. I'd rather us play on a Friday or a Saturday night per se. Just makes it a little bit more easier for everybody, and especially for my co-host, Mr. MBN. But this was episode 3 of Drive the Show, where the people take over. They make the topics. They pick and choose what they want to talk about. And if it's, like I said, if it's for Collingwood for 5 hours, so be it. This was episode 3. Thank you all for coming, Matt, Daz, Chris and Anthony at the start. I think Mick came in the comments for a little bit. Really do appreciate you guys. And get on Adrian's channel, please. He's going to make videos about all the history of Collingwood players. Good luck to him on that one. I don't think I could do that or even attempt to do that. So he actually might inspire me to do that if Adrian's listening to this back. But that is it for tonight. Thank you so much. So make sure to like and subscribe to the Warballs, to Mick's Magpie Chronicles, and to Adrian/Aged's new channel. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.